on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Hey, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, nope, get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's probably worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is the
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Yeah, there's something in there.
Want one?
Oh, thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it.
Welcome in, everybody, to the NECC Division I League of Legends Finals between the Grandview Vikings and the University of Health and Sciences Pharmacy Eutectics. My name is Yanni. I am joined here by Shibby. Shibby, two teams to the top of the mountain, but they had crossed paths before in the upper semifinals where Grandview got the better of the Eutectics.
Yeah, I think this is a grudge match for sure. right? And I think the Eutectics have more of a grudge than GVU here. It's kind of like that the rival scenario in a lot of TV shows where one guy considers this person a rival, the other guy's like, I don't even really think about you, man. Like GVU probably may have been expecting a different opponent, but they cannot come into this match expecting a 3-0. I think it is going to be tough. It's going to be hard fought, but they definitely have the roster to do it, right? GVU, a storied organization within the MEC, within the CLOL, the darling of some sorts of CLOL. If you look at them, right, Dark Horse, Cinderella stories, they're known for that kind of stuff. So I don't think they'll be the team to, kind of count out the underdog.
Yeah, you always talk about it, right? Because it's super important to mention. But when you go up against a guy like Everett on the other side for the Eutectics, who has been to the CB Law playoffs, I mean, this guy is quite good. And as we saw, CB Law definitely pretty competitive based off of what we saw in the Americas tournament. So we'll have to see how things go. As did mention, Grandview cannot take this one lightly. Grandview had a really good season, as you can go pull up the rosters for the teams, starting off with the side of the Eutectics. Johnny Rocket's going to play in the top lane today. Jame in the jungle, Everett in the mid laner, Sir Zepri and Rihis in the bottom lane. And for the Grandview Vikings, Shamwow in the top lane, Castle in the jungle, Jinkle in the mid lane, Nightstar and Pluto in the bot lane. One thing is that Shamwow, still relatively new to Grandview, taking the place of Strict Proctor, it looks like, for at least the 2025 CLL season potentially.
Yeah, I think also GVU Vikings are probably using this opportunity to kind of try out some new players. Obviously, the core, at least a majority of their core, with that Castle, Jinkle, Nightstar, Pluto, still very, very good. Still can give you a run for your money. But yeah, that top lane, kind of ever since Prank has left, right? They've been trying to fill that void a little bit. Not necessarily with a Prank like player, but somebody that can kind of develop into their own. I think Strict Proctor, very good, very solid season last year. And why not take this opportunity to get some new players? I know they have a varsity team and they have a JV team. So there's some good experience potentially for some of these JV players as well, or people that they plan on bringing on later into the year. So yeah, I mean, that's still that 4-man core of Grandview. Very, very deadly.
Yeah, and I really like that they keep this core around, because you're starting to see it more and more and everywhere, really, in every level of League of Legends. Teams are sticking around for longer, and then you're starting to see good things happen from these rosters that are managing to stay together. So we'll see how that bodes for GVU for the future. But for tonight, they're going to have to be on their A game. Now, they've been on their A game most of the year, finishing second in their group, 6-1
Yep.
record, just behind Northwood. Their only loss was to Northwood. Coming into 2025, Northwood expected to be one of the best teams in all of CLOL, but Northwood ain't here right now, and that's because GVU, they managed to win their quarterfinal match. Upper semifinals, they beat out the Eutectics, and they moved on against Northwood. Northwood did end up FFing that game, so that is something to keep in mind. I think GVU still would have been here anyway, though.
Yeah, I think we would have seen GVU maybe in a different storyline. We would have been talking about Northwood and GVU, maybe the underdogs, who's grudge match and everything like that right now. But yeah, Northwood unfortunately FFing, they're conceding their matches. Holiday time, right? It's Thanksgiving. I get it. A lot of people are away. You've got a lot of different commitments. It's kind of tough to commit to some of these games, but we've got two teams ready to go, right? They're definitely gunning for that first place championship here. And I think this, like we said, the storyline that we talked about, GVU expected to be here, expected to take it all. Eutectics, though, do not count out the underdogs. Do not count out a mid laner like Everett, who, like you said, has had some success in the CB LoL space, has played at the tier 1 level. And you mentioned these guys over in the South, our brothers, our cousins that we have joined forces with now to form the LTA. They've got some heavy hitters. They've got some players.
Yeah, without a doubt, Shibby. Again, we saw that in that Americas tournament. A team like Dragonsteel went down there and got their keisters kicked in. They're scary Jerry is now a tier 1 player. And his team did not do so hot down there. So do not disrespect players from the South. And the rest of the team is pretty solid themselves. I think Jame has been pretty interesting. Sometimes he just really puts on hard carry performances. And Sir Zepri, of course, has been a regular in the NACL Open qualifiers, mostly in the mid lane, but does have a nice roster of AD carries he can play. So you at least have some good members that you can rely on to play a solid game of League of Legends.
Yeah, yeah. GVU can't come into this expecting an easy win. They can't come in this expecting to steamroll the Eutectics here. And I think there's a chance we may go to 4 or 5 games here. We are in that full fearless format as well for NECC, which is going to be really interesting. I think full fearless, you really start to see kind of who has mastered this format once we get into those game 4, game 5 situations. Once tons and tons of champions are off the board here, for anybody that is just joining us, right, doesn't know what full fearless is. Essentially, any champions picked in games 1, 2, or 3 are not available for the rest of the games, right? So if you pick 10 champions in game 1, games 2, 3, 4, and 5, you don't have them available, so on and so forth, eventually leaving up about 40 champions that will not be available if we get to game 5 here. The picks and bans kind of change a little bit, but if we get to that situation, we will explain that in games 4 and 5. But for right now, we are in game 1. Let's see what the Eutectics have in store, because I think if you are a team that has succeeded in mastering Fearless, you have to have good blue side flex picks. You have to be able to take some champions and put them and threaten them in multiple positions. You can't give away your whole hand in the first 3 rounds.
Couldn't agree more, Shibby. You don't want to pick something that's super narrow, allow Grandview to get 2 powerful picks and know exactly what you're doing with your first pick and say, hey, you know what? Everything's all good. We're finding more often that teams are picking red side. In the past, that would be blasphemy. 3 years ago, if you went and you told coaches, hey, everybody's picking red side, they're going to call you a heretic and they're going to burn you at the stake. But teams are actively doing it now. So it's so weird how the game evolves at times. Seeing a couple of bans typically aimed at the bottom lane for the Eutectics. Also, that Lee Sin taken off the board for Castle. Meanwhile, Jace is off the board, and Everott's LeBlanc going to be taken away. Listen, that guy will pick it into a composition where it doesn't even seem that great. He is just willing to throw down on LeBlanc.
Yeah, and this has left a lot of powerful champions up on the board here, and it looks like the Eutectics are going to take the Z-tier flex in the mid and AD carry role, but that's going to leave one of my favorite champions, even post-rework, Skarner on the board, and Castle, no stranger to playing these tank junglers, was an avid Sejuani main, and might actually default to Sejuani here with this Yone pickup, but Skarner is left on the board, and I'm surprised that we haven't just seen it locked in by GVU.
Probably thinking about it. Could be their option. I mean, it's still really good with Yone. And
Whoa.
So they're going to opt for the Smolder here. Now, for those who may not know, Smolder was previously trash after being previously insane and is kind of back to being really, really good after the changes they made. He scales really well with AD now. So I'm pretty interested to see it in the hands of a capable player like Nightstar if it does end up going into the bottom lane. Jinkle, I'm sure, will perform quite well on it as well.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see if they end up going that reptile build and levitate that has been also talking about it, where you go like the Manamune into lethality build. It's apparently really, really
it is the
good.
Sauce. It is the secret
it
sauce.
It is apparently it's the sauce. So I'll be interested to see.
Island dressing.
Yeah, if GVU end up opting going into that, if Nightstar has actually been paying attention, has been on Twitter, has been on YouTube, and he's going to end up going that interesting build, and we'll see kind of how it scales into the late game. But we are 6 picks in, and Yanni, did I miss a memo? Did Skarner get completely obliterated and nerfed? Maybe both of these junglers don't want to play it here, as the Eutectics have locked in a tried and true combo. Ari Vi, very easy to execute. Level 6, I don't care what champion you're playing in the mid lane, you are dead to rights, my friend. Like, that's just how it goes when you go up against this mid 2v2 on the side of Eutectics.
Without a doubt. And the champions that you have on the side of Grandview aren't champions that can really get away from that sort of thing, right? Like, sure, Yone can make some moves, but he's either ulting away and you can step in front of it to stop him from going super far, or he's using his E, right? And he's got to snap back to it. Smolder, not really known for his escape tools, can obviously go over walls, but not something that you're really expecting. We're seeing Sejuani getting taken out in the second half, so the Skarner is still on the board if Grandview wants to take it. It's just so absurdly powerful still, even after some nerfs to kind of tone down his damage a little bit, but they do not care. They said, who needs a Skarner? We want more damage. 3 physical damage threats coming out from Grandview.
Yeah, GVU locking in that Kindred. Decent counter into the RE Vi, right? You can drop the Lamb's Respite if the Vi goes in, then just kind of trapped alone here. But a nice Braum pickup into this double 80 carry composition from GVU. Huge value for the Braum, and Corky doesn't have much trouble proccing the Winter's Bite passive here. And then layering that on top with the Jax into 3 auto attackers, right? You've got Counter-Strike available. You've got a really, really good draft from the Eutectics right now. Is there a lack of a front line? Sure. But a lot of these champions simply dodge out on the fact that there are so many auto attackers. But I see your face. I see that pick. That's big boy Malfusius in the top lane.
Malfusius. No, that's his wizard name if he goes AP. I don't necessarily think he will, but it would actually work quite well here because it seems like Grandview does need some magic damage. Now, I will say, Shibby, plated steel cap stonks. I'm not sure if the market's closed yet, but you should buy because the Eutectics need to be buying these steel caps. They're going to benefit so well from them. I wonder if this Vi is going to go more of a tank build. Bruiser Vi is typically the way to go, but like a Thornmail would be really excellent this game, in my opinion, Shibby. I'll leave all of that to you as the color casters. We head on to Summoner's Rift for game 1 of this best of 5 series for the Division 1 championship.
Yeah, it's really tough for the Eutectics to also kind of spec into that armor, that tankiness that we mentioned. A lot of these guys want to get a ton of their damage items, right? Everott wants to hit Malignance first item. James definitely going to want to hit like Triforce or Sundered Sky into Black Cleaver or even the Sterax. And Jax obviously wants to go like Triforce Sterax or Triforce Black Cleaver, right? Black Cleaver, really fun, really good item, specifically good tech into the Malphite, who's going to be building a ton of armor here. So it's tough. Like Braum is the only true tank, I would argue, and even then, he's going to be on a really, really low income on that support role. Like, the Eutectics have fully indexed into damage, and they've got the right champions to do it. Tons of bursts coming out with Corky, with Ari, with Vi here. It's just if GVU can weather the storm and then hit with that counterpunch post Lamb's Respite, post, all this engage and damage coming out from the Eutectics.
We'll see if Rias can find his Rolex while he's working minimum wage on the support salary, Shibby. As things have started out, but the jungler starting on the top side of the map. Nice start, just scoping things out, making sure there's no late invades, but he was also spotted out by a ward, so nothing too crazy. And Malphite, I want to talk about this pick a little bit. It's typically the quintessential one into Jax. Like a pretty safe lane, you get some poking with Comet, you stack up your mana flow band, and you have a good time.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay here. Shamwow on this Malphite. Good ward from Everott to spot out Castle. Not that it really matters too much. Big thing with the Kindred here is how your team plays around securing a lot of these marks. Obviously, that first mark, very, very important, is a coin flip, whether it's on that top scuttle or that bottom scuttle here. And we didn't really mention, though, Pluto on one of his signature champions on the Nautilus. Every time this guy picks Nautilus, I feel like his engage distances, the way he can find angles is absolutely maniacal, and he's always able to get some really, really clean hooks in and just find these angles for his team. He's been having to do that pretty regularly on this GVU roster even last year. I think Shamwow on this Malphite alleviates a lot of that pressure to be that solo engage, as James on the Vi actually looking to invade Kindred. Typically, it's the other way around, right?
Yeah, this is really aggressive, but when you have Corky compared to the Smolder, it's not so difficult to do. So they're going to let Smolder get some stacks here, and they're going to trade that away for the Grom potentially as Pluto lands the hook. Will take some damage. James wants a little bit more here as that Gromp is still up. Knights are going to be happy to take as many stacks as he can. Smite goes over to Castle, so James gets nothing except a low health bar.
You might be able to look to secure this blue here, although it is very, very risky. Doesn't look like Castle is going to tempt it. Yeah, it doesn't look like Castle is going to tempt it. He's going to go for that top scuttle. As you see, that mark has just spawned, so James has opted in to go for blue. Is he just going to go try to deny that scuttle here? Is he going to look for a gank onto Jinkall? As you see, potentially getting the two scuttle split. Johnny Rockets actually taking the top lane scuttle away from Castle, and James taking that bot lane one away. So Castle rightfully stifled, at least in terms of momentum and that stack gathering here on the marks.
Great move from Johnny Rockets, because what do you lose into a Malphite, right? It's not like
Nothing.
leaving Malphite alone is going to be that big of a deal. So I really like that move. As things for the Eutectics, you know, it's obviously still early, but I like what they've done, right? Put some pressure on the castle, take away the blue buff, take away both the crabs. Like, this is a winning strategy so far, Shippy.
And it's tough on GVU side as well to kind of, you know, contest some of these early game champions, right? Corki, Braum will have credence in that lane for a majority of the time here. Right, it's really, really tough. And James looking for a gank potentially. Pluto might be in trouble.
Pluto did get stunned, but the question is, can James get there? Is he going to burn his flash for it? He will just hold his Q. Now the hook goes down. That heal came out, but it doesn't matter. It's first blood for Pluto. Sir Zephyr has to burn the barrier. Pluto gets taken down from the Gatling gun, and Sir Zephyr going to take it easy, just watching out for Nightstar. Nightstar flash plus the barrier. Sir Zephyr is running out of room, and he will fall. James should be able to close out on this kill, and he will, but not exactly what you're looking for in the bottom.
I mean, getting 2 kills in a 3v2, I don't think GVU could have done much better than that given the situation. Although Nightstar, like you said, fairly aggressive flash barrier, ends up getting the kill, ends up getting the stack, and that gold on a champion like Smolder, who is heavily gold dependent, right? Needs to hit that 2-3 item mark, needs to get those 225 stacks to get that passive execute. I think getting that little extra bump in gold, having that pickaxe in your hand to be able to try to trade effectively into the Corki, much more valuable than just living with your life there, right? And potentially catching an extra wave. I respect that from GVU. I respect them going for that, but Jinkall might be in some trouble.
Well, he's going to burn damn near everything to try to get away. He'll take a lot of damage for it. So he will be able to keep his flash in the back pocket. And we can see there's going to be a bit of a jungle fight here as Castle and James are going to jockey for possession of these grubs. Castle not able to swipe one. He does hop out. One thing I wanted to mention, Shibby, I don't know if you saw it in that short top lane scrap earlier on, as I think ShamWow actually killed Johnny Rockets when we weren't paying attention. He's got a blasting one.
Yeah, he's Malphusius. He's not Malphite.
He is Malphusius.
He's turned into Malphusius with a full AP Malphite, or so far a full AP Malphite build here with that Comet. Johnny Rockets not really expecting probably that damage. He's like, wait a minute, this Malphite's supposed to be building full tank here. I do like what the Eutectics ended up doing, moving their support into that top lane to get those grubs. We saw Castle jump in, took a ton of damage from James. Did have to end up jumping out, couldn't even get one of the grubs here. So this could be a viable win condition for the Eutectics, right? Jax with 6 grub stacks could be a menace in the side lane.
Could be a big problem, Shibby. We'll have to keep an eye on that one as we're keeping an eye on Castle, as despite the early difficulties, is still doing his thing. Going to start up this dragon here after losing the first 3 grubs. Still only on 1 stack right now. But James on the other side, not letting anything come for free.
Oh, Pluto looking in. And
yeah, Pluto's a little too far with nobody left to help him here. So Zephyr's just going to be able to clean up on this kill for free. And he burns the Ignite as well. Very questionable, Shibby.
James going to ult ShamWow.
Is it James time? It is definitely James time. Johnny Rocket's just going to get the empowered W for the auto attack.
Yeah, very nice play from Eutectics on that. Top side, not as tanky when you do go that AP Malphite variant. But yeah, a bit of a head scratcher play from Pluto. Nightstar was walking into River as he hooked in. I don't even think Nightstar expected Pluto to go in. Maybe Pluto didn't even expect that hook to land. But unfortunately, that's a one-way ticket to your doom, as Braum can heavily punish the Nautilus once he gets that hook onto his AD carry or even into the Braum here. So really, really tough donating that kill over to Corki, especially one of those early game champions. Has picked up the Caulfield Hammer. Just going to have a front load of damage coming in with that Gatling gun and with those rockets as he ticks level 6 very soon.
It'll be problematic and something to watch out for, as we talk about how Corki's super strong right now. You're going to spot him a bit of a lead here. Obviously, Nightstar is just on flying in his own right. Spots out a ward here, but doesn't spot out Pluto. And for right now, I think if you're Grandview, you're pretty okay with not having any early skirmishes right now, because it's very clear that the Eutectics have strength on some of these core champions.
Yeah, I think Ari as well, finally ticking over to that level 6 mark, or level 8 now. Once she gets that Malignance, once that's completed, she's going to be an absolute menace on the map. I would have expected Everett to start roaming a little bit sooner, potentially into that bot side, or duoing up with Jame, right? Because that combo is so deadly. The cease and desist plus the aerial ultimate.
Grandmaster's might.
Johnny Rockets.
He's holding. He knows that Unstoppable Force is still up. The question is, when is ShamWow going to pull the trigger? Looks like Johnny Rockets will just back it off here. Castle in a dead sprint over. He's got to level up on Jame right now, even though Jame has had quite a bit more impact in this game. Will be stealing away the crab and another mark. Sir Zephyr and Rias are continuing to bear down on Nightstar. There's a flash to mark Nightstar, but Sir Zephyr doesn't really have anything left to mark him. He's going to get knocked up. Mom's going to come through. The barrier gets used, but Sir Zephyr goes down, and now Rias stuck in a 2v1 without the damage to win this one. Coming all the way down is Jinqual to try and snipe this kill, and he will.
Yeah, really good roam from Jinqual, but a very aggressive flash Winter's Bite from Reyes. I figured you'd just take the HP lead, the HP trade. It was a good trade before that flash came out there. Nightstar and Pluto kind of showing why they're one of those really good bot lanes in the MEC and collegiate level. Just kind of standing their ground, even having the Ignite up. Like, Pluto didn't even Ignite. He didn't need to. While you look on the side of Reyes and Sozipri, practically all of their summoners were used, as Jinqual is going to have to end up flashing there. He's going to dodge out on the potential solo kill from Everott.
Yeah, he didn't have time to use his ultimate just because he's been under so much pressure right now. Fate was almost sealed there.
Whoa.
Jame will pick up number 4. Castle has to hop out, but ShamWow is here. Potentially a fatty ultimate, but flashing away is Johnny Rockets now. Jame is stuck. They're going to try to turn it on to Castle. Castle's going to use the land dust to keep everybody else alive, but you still have the ultimate. The Fate Seal lands on the 2. It's a shutdown going over to the GVU mid laner, and Johnny Rockets isn't going to be able to get the kill. It goes to ShamWow, and the hook goes down onto a grub. Pluto trying to get more. They are not able to squeeze anything more out of that play.
Will be a 4-2 grub split for Eutectics there, but they also lose 2 crucial members. Jame and Johnny Rockets going down. 2 kills in the pocket of ShamWow, and Yanni, that guy's got malignance. He's going to be ulting on cooldown. That thing's already halfway up, right? It's already at the 50% mark for the cooldown, and he just used it.
Yeah, there's nothing a Malphite likes more than ulting, as went a little over aggressive there. Ends up giving a kill over to Everott. Suspect.
Bit of a blunder from GVU. A couple of the players have been playing, I would say, a little loose, maybe a little too loose, right? Pluto with that hook in that bottom side. Obviously, Jinqual in that mid lane, maybe getting a little too aggressive, trying to push, maybe limit test a little too often here. And ShamWow, more than happy to take this 1v1 against Johnny Rockets. Yeah, the guy's full AP. Unstoppable Force is up. Johnny Rockets, you might be dead, brother.
Oh, he's baiting him. You can see he wants Johnny Rockets to commit to this. Doesn't look like he will. ShamWow now heading level 10. Listen, up in CS, 2-1-1. This is exactly what you want in this type of matchup. Meanwhile, Jinqual finding himself in a lot of trouble here. He snaps back. Will just barely survive, but he's going to immediately have to back after just returning to the lane.
Yeah, he just used TP after he ended up overextending a little bit and dying over there. So good job from Everott to at least force out the recall. That's going to give Eutectics time to take this dragon. And look on the side of Eutectics, pretty much everybody's ticked over to their legendary items.
Oh my God.
Zipri hurts. Yeah, that guy is shredding Pluto. Yeah,
Pluto having a rough time. I haven't seen Pluto be bullied so hard since when NASA got rid of the planet designation. And Sir Zephyr cosplaying NASA here, just orbital striking right now as Nightstar is stuck under this turret. Jame is in the area, going to use his ultimate. Mom, I don't think is going to be able to save you here as Nightstar will fall. Jame gets knocked up under turret, heals up just enough, gets the shield, and they get the kill on the way out, but ShamWow in a dead sprint on his way down. Does not have flash available, and he will not be able to get... Wait a minute. No, Sir Zephyr is sticking around. Will be able to use his Valkyrie to get out, but you got to be careful. ShamWow knows he has to get kills here.
I think they'll be okay. ShamWow potentially looking for an overstay, but that gives some much needed alone time in that top side for Johnny Rockets. Mind you, he has 4 grubs, and he's playing Jax, who has Triforce. I mean, this turret is absolutely butter. Jax is the hot knife that slices through that top lane tier 1 turret and gets them that first turret gold. Eutectics, playing a solid game, have garnered themselves a 2,000 gold lead at the 14-minute mark, Yanni. We talked about them being underdogs. They're not playing like it.
Yeah, I really respect what the Eutectics have done. I think James had a great game so far. I'm anticipating if he's able to keep this up, they should do well to take a game off of Grandview here in game 1. And listen, they have kept the stack count low for Castle. He only has 2 stacks right now. That is not where you want to be as a Kindred. James looks like he'll be able to sneak away this blue buff too. ShamWow didn't see him.
Nobody saw him. No
ShamWow
boards actually ended up spotting him out.
No, that's not the target. Sir Zepri is the target. He turned around for a second like he'd be able to get out. ShamWow with a nice step back. The cheese wheel, not enough to get a kill. Now they're looking for a turn. Castle is here. Sir Zepri flashes away. The Lamb's Respite will be enough to save ShamWow for now, but here comes the teleport from the Jax. ShamWow goes down. Castle gets stunned, and he gets stunned again. He's taken down by Johnny Rockets. The Eutectics with some great team play.
All the meanwhile, Jinkol and the rest of the gang stuck in that mid lane, maybe looking to make a play onto Evrod here, but ShamWow overestimating how much damage he could do there. The barrier from Zepri actually getting him out and giving him enough HP to stall out, and the play's not done. Ultimate comes in.
All right, Charm coming out. Pluto couldn't get away. He's going to get stunned up again. They're just able to rotate all their spells. Mob comes through. Pluto just barely walks out. And it could be a big TP as ShamWow is here. He doesn't have an ultimate. He gets charmed. He gets stunned, and he goes down.
You've got no resistances. You don't even have unstoppable force. That TP
was a
death sentence. He's very stoppable. Yeah, he's a very stoppable force here. It's now the 1v1. Johnny Rockets versus Jinkol. Yone versus Jack. Let's see who can outplay this, opening up with that counter-strike.
Johnny Rockets just going to pull the wave to the side, waiting for cooldowns. Drops the Grandmaster's Might. Fancies himself a 1v1. Even with minions beating the tar out of him, he's still chasing after Jinkol here. Use that Counter-Strike, Fate sealed, but he still gets stunned even with the knockup, and that bought enough time for the team to come in and try to save the day. This is out on the charm, but guess what? You have to snap back sometime. That's the neck up onto Everett. James will land that Q, and it should be curtains for Jinkol here.
Whoa!
He will finally fall. Rift Herald does get used on the other side of the map, though, Shibby.
Tons of gold going to go into the pocket of Castle here as Johnny Rockets did hit that recall. Q1 in the top side. Gonna go in the favor of Castle here. But look at that gold as we flash over. I mean, Johnny Rockets, despite getting solo killed in that top side, I believe like ShamWow dropped one too many waves, was giving him too much time as Castle is in that 1v1. Wasn't able to take the Scuttle Crab away.
Top of the wall. He wants to fight this. Flash over the wall, but Johnny Rockets just landing the leap strike and takes the dub.
Good job from Johnny Rockets to stop that Rift Herald, right? The second charge. Probably Castle is looking to take that away and get himself to safety here, but the Eutectics, man, they're playing like a well-oiled machine. They are simply grouping and attacking,
and they're going to make another nice
members
play.
of GVU.
Everett misses the charm, but it doesn't matter. Now Pluto going to be targeted with the cease and desist, and Pluto will go down next. It's just a cascade, a cacophony of crap, Shivy. Double knockup lands, charm onto the Malphite. James once more. You have enough damage. You have enough CC. ShamWow able to flash out, but Jinkol has to turn this, but he can't. No! He gets stunned and he falls too. It's like dominoes.
One by one, GVU falls here, and the Eutectics just not giving them any room to breathe, right? Unrelenting pressure as the dinner bells have rung, Yanni. GVU have spawned in some objective bounties. I didn't think we'd ever see them in this situation, but they are down 7,000 gold. Granted, they do have Smolder and Kindred, two very high scaling picks, but it doesn't matter if the Eutectics are just able to slap you with their wallet. A ton of gold in the Eutectics pockets right now. They're cresting on their second items, building towards their third.
I don't know what the hell a Eutectic is, Shivy, but I know it's winning the game right now. James is headed over to the Dragon to try to take number 2 for the Eutectics, and Grandview just can't get anything on the other side. I mean, look where this mark is as well. Castle has just been neutralized this game. The castle has fallen. It has crumbled.
Yeah, and, you know, part of the argument there is as well is like, if you're on Skarner, this game's much more playable. You're not reliant on farming. You're not reliant on stacks. Here's now Jinkall.
Fate Seal lands on a nobody, and he gets stunned on top of it. Does Everett have the damage? Can he stay alive? Sir Zephyr walks right into Nightstar's mom, though, and will fall. And they have dove a little too hard here, Shibby. Everett trying to get out. So's the rest of the team. Big knockups coming out from everybody, but Everett walks away with a kill. Can Nightstar get anything? Can Castle get anything? Manages to pick off the Braum, and now looking for James as he's very low. Everett's charm is up. They turn, they take him out, and now they have to deal with Nightstar. They have cooldowns, but they're looking to turn. Cease and desist, landing, coming down. Everett lands the charm, and they will take out the Smolder. A double kill for James.
An over chase, but a very good charm from Everett, who has been absolutely heat-seeking missile on this Ahri, right? I don't think I've seen him miss a charm yet. 407, Malignance built, right? He's got 2 items in his pocket, and him and James have just been buddying up, being this destructive duo across the map here. Super hard to get away from. We talked about it early on, right? Vi Ahri, one of the easiest, most fundamental, simple 2v2, mid 2v2s that you can execute on, and it's just very lethal later into the game. You're not getting away from Foxfire Rush and Cease and Desist. Like, those 2 ultimates in tandem, you're dead to rights, and we can see GVU kind of falling apart right now.
Yeah, they have had no answer, Shibby, and you know, James and Everett didn't link up early on in the game, and the team was still just winning. And they have done well to recognize that this is their win condition, to make these picks happen, to get these leads, to get these man advantages, and it is working so well right now. We'll see if Grandview is able to hang on. You know, things are tough right now, down 7,000 gold, but we all know Kindred mark stacking is relevant, and of course, the elephant or dragon in the room, as Smolder will eventually hit his breakpoint.
Yeah, once he gets to that execute, these fights would be looking a lot different here, especially with how low those health bars were in that last team fight. Many individuals were in execute range if he had that 225 mark. Everett might be in some trouble here.
Trouble, and Nightstar is just looking to get him. Nightstar's movement's been so weird, but now he stepped up a little bit too far. He's got no team around him. Mom can't save you, bro. She's not going to be able to get you out of trouble every single time. She agreed with the teacher. You should have stayed where you were.
Should have stayed in the corner. You should have put your head down in
done your
class,
homework.
and unfortunately, should have done your homework here.
I think a mid-turn off this too. And Johnny Rockets is probably going to kill Jinkall here. Big shields. Plus the knockup from Pluto means I think it was a little premature. And now ShamWow trying to avoid what Johnny Rockets has. Knockup coming through as well. Castle is here too. And I think Johnny Rockets did bite off a little bit more than he could chew. It is a shutdown going over to ShamWow.
But all the meanwhile, Dragon being taken with this Porky and this Vi. They've got more than enough damage, more than enough time to take it here. So all the meanwhile, Johnny Rockets giving his life in the mid lane. The rest of his team picks up a very crucial Baron, and then the siege will begin here. And you've got Porky, you've got Ahri. It could be really tough to defend your tier 2 or tier 3 turrets. Castle gonna get some stuff back here as his jungle has been completely raided. He's only got 3 marks. He needs to hit that 4 mark break point sooner rather than later here so he can actually become a champion. He's got a couple kills, has some decent damage, but he really needs to hit 4 marks here. Jinkall gonna get in range of this turret. Is gonna give him that objective bounty, but he might actually end up paying for it with his life.
Well, we'll see as he finds himself in trouble. Pluto is here, but I'm not sure if Pluto can really help out. Still trying to stay alive. Knockup comes down. They manage to shut down Everett. James going to be the next target. He gets executed too.
Nightstar has picked up 2 kills. The execute in hand, and might start getting to that point where these team fights start looking very different. Nightstar has sufficiently scaled here. Castle might have picked up another mark if he ended up marking either James or Everett there, but what a backbreaker of a game it would be if Eutectics end up throwing this game or losing to Smolder, these high-scaling picks. They have been in complete control pretty much since minute 15 onwards.
Yeah, that's how you put a series on tilt real quick. Fate Seal coming through along with the Malphite ultimate.
No.
And Johnny Rockets is in trouble. Mom coming through as well. Castle is here. Johnny Rockets forced to flash, but Rehis is not so lucky. Has his flash up, but he's going to keep it in the back pocket. Nightstar picks up kill number 5. Has a bounty on his head now too, and all of a sudden, Shibby, things are starting to tilt toward Grandview.
Ever so slowly, the scales of fate are tipping towards Grandview Vikings here. As Dragon is up, we see Jame on top of it. Doesn't look like Grandview are really particularly worried about an Ocean Dragon, nor are they really worried about the Eutectics getting onto Ocean Soul. They're going to try to trade as much gold and gather as much minions as they can on their side of the map here. I don't actually mind this. It is just that one dragon, and the fact that you're forcing TP here could be an issue.
3v2 in the mid lane. Pluto is the one who gets stunned. Evrot flying through as well. He picks up kill number 1, and now he's sliding through with the Spirit Rush. You can tell he's targeting Nightstar. Short internal cooldown. He's just got to land this charm. And why wouldn't he? Because everybody loves Brazil, Shibby, and he's going to get stunned on top of it from Johnny Rockets. ShamWow, he's just a rock. You can't move quite fast. Oh my god, he hit that charm. It didn't look like he did, but Evrot gets it done.
Yeah, and disrespect from Nightstar, simply put. The guy had flash. He chose not to use it. Does not respect Evrot's charm. Does not expect the range. Maybe didn't even expect him to hit it there, and you unfortunately pay with your life. A good sequence of moves from Grandview Vikings get absolutely wiped out in an instant, right? An overstay in the mid lane into a disrespect on holding your summoners. And Eutectics grab this game firmly back in their hands here, although might be slipping. Their palms might be starting to get a little sweaty here, as Nightstar still on that execute, still has 225 plus stacks to his name. Castle slowly but surely working towards those extra marks. Like, GVU do have a late game composition. What they're known for historically has always been their team fighting. Scaling up, finding the right team fight, finding the right pick, and just running away with the game. This is what GVU does. Their bread and butter, Yanni. Let's see if they can, give it to the Eutectics, just as they've been giving it to the NECC for the past couple years.
Yeah, Grandview's knees were weak. Arms are a little heavy, but they're starting to be able to carry that load a little bit, at least stalling out this game. I didn't think we'd be talking so strongly about a team down 7,000 gold, but I will say the Eutectics, I think they may have slammed the door after that last fight that they ended up winning. They went after Nightstar and were able to get the job done. We'll see. Jury's still out here as, Grandview still waiting for their champions to get a little bit stronger. About 2.5 minutes until this soul comes up, and you have to think if the Eutectics are the ones to be able to pick it up, that should really close the door on any potential.
Yeah, Baron's coming up in about 1 minute and 15 as well here. Could be a lot riskier for the Eutectics to start this one up. They don't necessarily have somebody that can kind of just give their life away once again. There's too much damage on the side of Grandview. I think they'll kill anyone way too quickly before the Eutectics can pick up that Baron, right? They managed to do it with 3 individuals. Zebri.
He's got to flash away too. Mom comes through, does a little bit of damage. He's getting chased down by Castle. Nightstar over the wall as well. Oh my god, everybody just showed up to the party. They recognized Corky was a problem, and the problem was dealt with swiftly.
Yeah, Valkyrie and Flash, and it still wasn't enough to get away from the slow but heat-seeking missile that is the Nautilus ultimate, right? You just see it slowly but surely coming towards you, and a good collapse is, uh-oh.
Nice Ari and Vi play onto Jinkall. He's going to head back over, slide over the wall, but it ain't enough. So good response from the Eutectics.
I believe Jinkall was trying to go down to that bottom lane, right? Pick up some of those minions, was caught in rotation. Good job from Evrot, good job from James. Johnny Rockets might be in some trouble.
Yeah, double knockup is here. But Pluto is too. So is Nightstar, so is Castle, and the assault is starting. Johnny Rockets on the backside. Great job there. Able to at least trade out a kill, but Rias is going to flash away. James is showing up, but there's no one else to actually turn this fight around.
No ultimate available as well. Still on a pretty long cooldown right now, but 1 for 1 in that situation. You'll take that every single time, especially in a 2v4 is what we'll call it. Johnny Rockets and ShamWow, similar death timer, so I don't think that's going to open up a window for the Eutectics to start this Baron, although it is going to allow them to shove at least some of these waves in. As Jin Call is going to go down to that bot side, start shoving that in. Got TP available. Same thing with ShamWow. You look on the side of the Eutectics, Everott does have to play a little bit closer towards this mid lane. If he opts in to match Jin Call here, we could see a numbers disadvantage for the Eutectics around that Baron or around any of these skirmishes. But just look how he's playing. Just hiding in bushes, waiting, maybe potentially catching somebody out. The guy has 3.5 items. He's got his Rabadon's Death Cap plus the Blighting Jewel, and this might be the fight that ends the game here.
Eutectics. James coming in. Everott's the one who gets hooked. 8 sealed, still in the back pocket. He's only going to be able to burn it onto 2 members. Mom comes through. James on the backside, but nobody's there to help him. They kept Everott and Zerzepri out, and now they have to turn this fight. Like, big counter strike, but a save from Castle, the Lamb's Respite. Trying to get close as Jin Call. Going golden as Johnny Rockets. Nightstar is losing HP rapidly as the Rockets are rifling down. The Charm taking out the Yone, but Nightstar makes the hero play in the 3v1. Now he's got to find a way from Johnny Rockets, and he just can't. It's a 4-for-4 slugfest, Shibby. Wait a minute, it might not be. Nope, it's an ace. Johnny Rockets got the job done. Last man standing.
Johnny Rockets on this Jax. Absolutely a menace, right? Good Zhonya's as well, or in this case, the Seeker's Arm Guard. That's going to allow him to pick up this bear or dragon here, put them onto Ocean Soul, and a little bit more HP, a little bit of extra healing might actually get the Eutectic going in a long way here as GVU just narrowly getting some of these kills, right? And heroics from Nightstar to kind of even up the score, even up the kill count just a little bit, but it's just not enough. No flash available for him as well. This last team fight, or this next team fight, could be the last one.
It seems doomed for Grandview as the Eutectics managed to hang on to that last fight. Here comes a teleport from ShamWow. Everott is caught here, will use his ultimate 2 charges, and the Blast Cone gets knocked up midair, knocked up again, but they're not able to get him. Ari just too slippery.
Yeah, and trading Ari ult for Nautilus ult is net benefit for Eutectics here, as the Ari ult's going to come up a lot sooner than this Nautilus ultimate because of Malignance and because he's scaled into most likely Ultimate Hunter because he has that Electrocute rune. I mean, that's fine, right? You take that any day of the week here. Although, with that really close team fight, Baron was not on the menu for the Eutectics, so there still is an opportunity for the Grandview Vikings to turn this around. Maybe they get a steal, maybe they get an ensuing team fight, but it is rough. It feels like GVU just don't have enough bite in their damage to work through the Eutectics health bars, and now with Ocean Soul layered on top of that, just makes it that much harder.
There are so many wards. ShamWow has to ult away. That is disaster. We'll see if Castle can slide his way in. Remember, he does have Lamb's Respite, but he's going to get engaged on. He was just standing there. Johnny Rockets is on top of him. ShamWow is dead in just a second. He's dead on my screen. He will fall. Pluto now getting chased away as well as Jin Call, but he gets rifled away and melted. And the Eutectics pull off the Baron snappy. Now they'll move back on it.
Yeah, very good play from the Eutectics here. Everott as well, hiding behind Fog of War, waiting for somebody walking through that choke, having that charm ready. That forced ShamWow, like you said, to ult out here, who is on not the full AP Malphite, has just opted in for the Malignance there, but he's just not tanky enough. He doesn't do enough damage. He's just an R-bot, and the rest of his team just simply can't follow up. It's Nightstar shouldering the burden of the DPS role here. Castle, like you said, rightfully stifled, just now questing upon his 3rd item, that is that IE, right? Jin Call as well has opted in for a more defensive-minded build. Bork into Shield Bow, as he's going to now build IE. Maybe if GVU hit those 3 item spikes, they can potentially look to contest the Eutectics here, but I just feel like Eutectics have played a solid game 15 minutes onward. It's so tough.
Triple knock-up. They're targeting out Zerzepri. Can he get away? He can.
No.
Pluto gets the kill. James going to be targeted next. He's going to fall. Now looking for more Jin Call. Everott, though, puts out so much damage Stop chasing the Ari. It's not going to end well for you, bro. Pluto lands the hook, but I think he's regretting it now.
Yeah, that Ari, charm after charm, absolutely melting health bars here. 4 items, right? Crypt Bloom on his 4th item here. Tons and tons of Magic Pen. Rabadon's Death Cap actually amping up that orb. And yeah, Evrot might have gone for the more utility, right? Yeah, put it on a show, but also opting in for a more utility, quote-unquote, focused build. The guy's 4 items. He's going to melt through every single one of your members on GVU here. Your double 80 carries, your mid lane Yone. Screw the shield bow. She's melting through that as well. I mean, Evrot is absolutely putting the carry pants on, right? I think everybody in the Eutectics doing a damn good job just kind of keeping this lead and keeping this game out of GVU's reach. We're 35 minutes in, and we can see Smolder still losing. We're in a situation where we're 35 minutes into the game, Yanni, and we're worried about the Smolder composition.
Yeah, Shibby, it's looking rough for Grandview, but we have talked about it. It is that scaling, and the Eutectics have not ended the game yet. That is something quite scary, especially with the composition they have. It plays well into the late game, sure, but you know, you want to have this game over a lot sooner. They let a couple of opportunities slip through their fingers, but it feels hard to lose at this point with Ocean Soul at their backs. Rias, James looking to link up with the rest of the team as the siege is on. See all the damage that these carries do. Evrot going in for the key charm, landing on the Malphite. Malphite can't do anything. He lands a knockup, but he's already in the Lamb's Respite. Mom coming through, getting everybody low. James healing up for so much, and he's on to Nightstar. Nightstar's charged. Nightstar is dead. Johnny Rockets goes to the back line. A triple kill for Sir Zephyr, and that could be all. Charm lands.
Another charm!
To the Yone. Evrot says, see you later, Grandview. Kiss him goodbye as game 1 goes to the Eutectics.
We're in the middle. Not in the middle. We're in the beginning of December, Yanni. But Evrot says, no. It's Valentine's Day. Charm after charm after charm. I mean, this guy's been automatic on the Ari. Absolutely wild there. Putting on a show, putting on a performance. Eutectics are up 1-0 against Grandview Vikings off of a banger of a composition. The Ari Vi, as simple as it can get. But damn, if it gets you the W, who's going to complain?
Nobody, Shibby. Not a soul will complain. Check him PC, because he was out of his mind that game. Bro had his G Fuel coming into the game, you know, was playing as well as Wenzel Farms Meat Sticks taste. And everything was just exactly what you wanted here for game 1 for the Eutectics. Already doing better than their upper semifinal series against Grandview the first time. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to see if the Eutectics can do it again, this time with a couple of their picks down, or if Grandview can bounce back here in the finals.
Spicy workout. Make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's probably worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh,
yeah, there's something in there. Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just can't. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Hey, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there.
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't put it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the NECC Division One League of Legends Finals between the Grandview Vikings and the Eutectics. Shibby, bit of a shock as the Eutectics already in Game 1 bucked the trend. Remember, they lost 2-0 in the upper semifinals to Grandview, but this time around, they are working on changing their fate. A Game 1 victory in Fearless, I might add. Now, Grandview, the composition that they went with, I'm not sure if they're too upset at the champions that they lost.
Yeah, I mean, Smolder getting removed. I think Nautilus for Pluto specifically. I think that's one of his like signature champions. But I mean, he's been around for a while. Really good player. I think he'll be fine. Not on the Nautilus there. Losing Malfight, the Wizard Malfight. I don't think that's a big deal. The Kindred and the Corki, the Kindred and the Yone. I think Kindred. Really good pick for Castle. He's always been pretty solid on that champion. I think they're just going to move him on to some of these tanks, right? Skarner was available. We talked about in that Game 1 draft. Didn't get picked up by either team. I think it's a little tough for the Eutectics as well. They slammed in a 2v2, a mid-jungle 2v2 that is very, very popular, very easy to execute. I don't know how many more of those they have in their pockets, right? If we get into Game 4, into Game 5, if we get deep into the weeds, there's only so many kind of 1-2 combos that are similar to Vi and Ari that'll kind of do that same thing, right? Dominate the mid 2v2, work around. I mean, Everett played a fantastic Ari game. I don't think he's going to get LeBlanc, right, in this series, or if he does, it won't be until later on. So, I mean, it's tough, right? Do you go like Gragas Yasuo, right? Do you go for something more melee focused? Do you go like Sejuani Yasuo, right? Yone's not on the board, Renekton. I mean, there's not many good mid 2v2 jungles left that can kind of give you that same dominance in game one.
I agree, Shibby, but there's one thing that we need to point out. Everybody on the side of the Eutectics played well. Like Johnny
Yes.
Rockets up in the top lane, early lane was a bit of a miscue. I bet he wasn't pegging Malphite to have a blasting wand there, but he did. And outside of that though, he looked really good, had a couple of really clutch counter strikes. If he plays as well as he did on Jax on other champions, I think that the Eutectics will be just fine no matter what composition they pull out. Also, this wasn't Malfuzius, it was Malfugazi, because he went the AP item first and then went full tank afterward. And you know what, ShamWow? I guess that's why you lost, bud.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Commit. If you're gonna do it, commit to it. Give me Malignance into like Rabadons, into Void Staff. Like, one shot him. At that point, does it matter? Like, is the Malignance that important there that you need that little extra bump in the CDR on your ultimate? Do you need the mana? Do you really need the AP? Yeah, I mean, it was a like you said, a cacophony of crap. I could not have pegged it better myself. It was just a downward spiral for GVU, really. Like, they had some really good moments, some solid sequences, and it all just kind of got wiped away, right? And that was also off the back of the Eutectics finding those plays and finding those picks and finding that momentum for themselves here. And for everybody that's joining us, this is full Fearless draft for the NECC here. So you see those Fearless bands in game one. That were the champions that was picked in game one. They are not available for the rest of the series. They cannot be picked up by either team here. And as we get later into this series, we may end up, unveiling some more interesting rules, game 4 and game 5. But for right now, game 2, we're going to see 5 bans, 10 champions already off the board with the Fearless bans in game 1, and another 10 will be removed as we get into the pick and ban phase. A lot of champions not available. You got to search deep into your pockets, right, Yanni?
Oh yeah, you got to pull out the lint, the quarter that you left in there from the last time you paid cash at your local convenience store, which is probably 2 years ago. You're gonna find some weird stuff in there. The bans though are eerily similar than compared to the last game. One thing I want to see Grandview do is I want to see Grandview ban out one of James' champions, because this guy played insane on the Vi, had such a phenomenal early game, knew his role in the late game, a really intelligent player and jungler. And I think that guy is incredibly dangerous. And we'll see what the move is, especially after Grandview went back to red side here. I would really like to see a Skarner first pick probably come through.
Yeah, now that Corky's off the board as well, not as many OPs are kind of left up for that red side trade that you typically go, hey, B1, you get this, R1, R2, I'm going to get 2 even more broken champions here. But again, Skarner, not the move here. An interesting lock. And we talked about having blue side flex potential. Eutectics has thrown that right out the window and said, nope, we're picking Caitlyn. You know exactly where this champion is going to go. I dare you to pick something that's going to rock into this as well. Nightstar has picked up the Jhin, and I personally am not a fan of Nightstar on utility-based champions. Just straight up, I like to see him on carries. I like to see him on late-game stuff. On-hit Varus, Zeri was really popular champion for him last year. The Kog'Maw and the Tristana being banned out. The respect given to this guy as the Aurora is going to be coming in, and that's going to go, I'm going to assume mid lane, as Aurora top did get some heavy-handed nerfs.
Yeah, it fell off pretty hard, so I don't think it's a move. Whoa. We're seeing a Zoe come in here, and Samakin ain't even in this game. This will be a Zoe. I should be going over to Everett here, but I love what the Eutectics have put together. This is a double poke composition. They said, heck it. We're just going to go, and we're going to beat the tar out of you, soften you up, and then come in with this Skarner and land that ultimate, impale you, and then take you out from there. Win your lanes, win the fights, win the game. I love what they're putting together so far, Shibby.
Yeah, it could still be a Zoe support angle if they're kind of dripping in the
Oh
sauce
my
right
goodness.
now. I
They
don't
would be
know
so
if Reyes.
sauced.
I don't know if he's been peeping into the dark tech, if he's been reading the forbidden magic here, but I think that is gonna go into the hands
Bro
of Evrot,
drank
which
the
is still
water
very
of
good.
life and is
Yeah,
spiced up. I was watching Dune the other night.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Fantastic movie. But I think GVU, their composition isn't bad. It's very set standard. Jin Leona, a lot of burst, a lot of damage, long range setup, right? You have curtain call, you've got solar flare. You're going to see Jin Call on this Aurora off these massive flanks. Could see an Aurora Nocturne. I know we haven't seen a ton of Nocturne lately, but I still think Aurora Nocturne, very, very good composition, but you just need more damage on the side of GVU. I feel like Jin doesn't really hit as hard as he used to, especially if he's going to opt in for, kind of that more utility Jin that we talked about, like the Static Shiv into Rapid Fire Cannon, then he builds IE. Even then, the Collector IE Jin, I just feel like it's not enough damage. I need GVU to draft something in that top side or in that jungle that's going to really put them over the edge. You've got the setup. Now you've got to kind of layer that on with the damages. My crystal ball, I guess, has been working today. Nightstar locked in the Nocturne for his jungler castle.
Yeah, and you can already see Nocturne is already ulted, as we cannot see Sir Zippri's pick. There we go. It is now an Alistar. Listen, it was pitch black and it was like lit up. So I thought maybe that something had happened. But they're going to go with the Alistar. And I think this is great, Shibby. So going to do really well to keep this Nocturne out of a fight, to keep this Leona away. Going to cap it off with a Rumble. They're going to need to have A+ execution this game, Shibby. But their poke is so strong. I foresee a fight potentially where Caitlyn gets off, a rapid fire auto attack plus a Zoe paddle star, and then all of a sudden you just drop the Rumble right on top of that target and take him out. But this Orange should provide enough disruption for these team fights. Again, you're saying that they're lacking damage. I think you might be right, but they certainly have the tools to take a 5v5.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a hidden Ornn ultimate as well under the cover of the Nocturnal could be devastating here. Aurora, one of those champions that does a sneaky amount of damage. Yanni, me and you, I remember like a couple weeks ago, if not a month and a half ago, I believe on NECC, casted an Aurora that did a ton of damage, right?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Electrocute, Storm Surge build that we saw where they go Storm Surge, Shadow Flame, and then into another pen item. They were absolutely shredding through
cooking.
some of the more squishier members on the side of the enemy team here. Although, if you look on the side of the Eutectics, realistically, not going to be in range, right? You've got Caitlyn playing super far out, Zoe as well. Realistically, Rumble, Skarner, and Alistar will be frontlining. And yeah, I like what you said there. Eutectics have a pseudo poke composition. Once you get low enough, they're going to run on in with Jaime and Reyes, and then Johnny Rocket's going to layer that Rumble ultimate right over the top. Would be kind of rough for GV to play against. See if they can execute on this kind of sneaky all-in composition, right? Nocturne Aurora, very, very deceptively strong. Super hard to play against, right? If you don't have vision, if you can't see, you can't react.
Couldn't agree more, Shibby. Although, I will say, the Aurora nerfs are certainly going to make a hamper on this. You can walk out of Between Worlds. So, you're not going to get locked in there forever. You are going to take a big slow, but you will not be locked in there forever. And it does quite a bit less damage. It especially at the last rank, it does about 75 less damage just on the base level. So, we'll see what the move is here for this build for Jin Call, right? If he's going to go that Storm Surge build, as you were talking about, is a bit of a late invade opportunity here from GVU, and I like this. They are respecting Jaime, and they're like, hey, listen, we're going to mess with your jungle here.
Yeah, they're opting in for a lane swap here. ShamWow in on this late invade right now. Looks like Caitlyn and Alistar are going to have full control of that bottom side, but removing the Ornn away from the Rumble, I love that, right? I had a lot of doubts. Ornn into Rumble, Ornn does not have a fun time. So just putting that Rumble in the 1v2, not nearly going to get as much gold, not enough turret plating, going to be very sufficiently stifled. And realistically, Caitlyn and Alistar were always going to kind of push you under the turret. They were always going to have credence in that lane. So moving the Jin Leona to the top side, denying Rumble gold, I love this from GVU.
Yep, I'm with you, Shibby. We're seeing James already move over and head into the opposing bottom side to go clean up everything there. ShamWow has found Johnny Rockets. Listen, Johnny Rockets is low on HP. ShamWow's getting beat up by the minions, but Johnny Rockets, he's gonna have to flash away. ShamWow took a turret shot and will get a kill with the taser. First blood to Johnny Rockets. Absolute disaster for GVU.
Taser, taser, taser. ShamWow was not ready. Beautiful, beautiful E from Johnny Rockets there, and GVU collapsing at the seams. The cookie is crumbling, Yanni, and it's going in the favor of the Eutectics.
Johnny Rockets teleporting to the top side. After his back, ShamWow to the bottom side, and Sir Zephyr and Rias are going to do everything they can to try and put ShamWow into the dirt. James is here too. Traps are going down just to try to cut this man off. They don't quite shove him into the trap, but there's so many traps. Look at all of them. He had nowhere to go. Sir Zephyr picks up a kill.
And unfortunately, ShamWow, I don't believe skilled his W there, does not have that unstoppable, so wasn't able to kind of outplay James with that shove. Very good dive coming out from the Eutectics here. They handle the lane swap. They get a gifted kill in that top side, and Johnny Rockets not really under any dive threat. I might suspect that Reyes was going to path to that top side. I think Johnny Rockets is okay. It's going to be a lot tougher for them to execute this dive. We'll see if they can get it on the GVU side here. Minions are going down,
he's
though.
Used all his cooldowns. Here comes the teleport coming in from Evroth to try to save his bro. He can't quite do so. Will get the flash out of Castle at the very least. They don't have... Oh, Pluto took a turret shot, I think, but it wasn't enough to actually take him out. Rias is here. Evroth is taking so much damage. Flash knockup. Evroth burns the heal because he picked it up from Nightstar. Now Evroth's just trying to play range here. Rias doesn't have enough HP. He's running low. Evroth missed his sleepy trouble bubble, and he's the one in trouble. Pluto flashing forward, but Evroth gets the kill. But it's an execute onto Pluto, and then Alistar gets the kill on the Nightstar.
Very, very good play from GVU there as Zephyr. ShamWow trading back and forth. Although Zephyr a bit low here, but that's a net benefit for GVU. 2 kills go into the pocket of Nightstar. They also deny a big wave for Johnny Rockets, but James back again, round 2. What can you do?
It's James time. ShamWow getting a big knockup. They couldn't lay the trap either, so James is forced to flash.
Tons of traps going down right now, and that's what we talked about, right? ShamWow having that W available, having that unstoppable, that bellows breath specifically, allows him to outplay the very telegraphed Skarner burrow there into the wall, and James doesn't have flash. He's dead to rights there because he hits that Q on the side of ShamWow. You get the stun going, you get the CC. Right?
Brother, nice dodge, but guess who's level 6? It's Jinkall, right? And Evroth is just trying to run away. Pluto doesn't have flash on him, but he's been slowed enough. Rias is trying to come help out the boy, but he can't. He's been tagged with Ignite. One more auto should take him out, and it's Pluto who gets the kill. James is in the area, slams him up against the wall. The Excel's impact.
On the way.
But guess what? It's just plenty of damage coming through from this Aurora, using that 2-fold Hex. Just trying to tag as much damage down as they can. Pluto is getting slowed, though. He's going to turn around, land a stun on the James. Rias with a knockup, though, and James will get the kill. The question is, can they find the Aurora? They cannot.
Good on Reyes to stall out long enough to at least get a return kill on the side of Pluto. It's Evroth. Because he took so much time TPing to that top side, missing a couple waves, ended up dying here. Jinkall got that Aurora to level 6, was able to throw that ultimate down, and this game looking much closer than game 1 here with both of these teams back and forth, and Nightstar not level 6 isn't going to be able to open up that curtain call, but Johnny Rockets is going to have to back. No TP available. He's definitely going to miss this wave.
Yeah, it'll be rough times for Johnny Rockets. His Castle comes up top, picks up 3 grubs. Always happy to take those away from a Caitlyn. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, James will trade the Dragon. And right now, I think Grandview certainly looking good with their win conditions. While Sir Zephyr has a kill in 58 CS, Nightstar not too far behind, 2 kills in his pocket, up to 100 gold. This is what you want.
Yeah, I mean, the early game looking a lot better, right? Eutectics ended up picking a composition that was onshore dominant in that early game, right? Ari, Vi, Corki, those kind of champions. They're able to get a lot of damage down, able to deny Kindred, specifically Castle. on that pick there. And now it looks like this game specifically, much more even. And Johnny Rockets, level 6 on the side of Castle.
He's got to drop his ultimate somewhere, and he's going to miss. He's not going to even hit most of the minions. Pluto does a good job tanking it up. Will survive. Nice play from Grave.
Very well executed dive, right? Beautiful tanking from Pluto there with the aftershock. He's able to just walk it on out. Tons of damage coming in from both Nightstar and Castle. And James, unfortunately, not as effective on this Skarner as he was on the Vi. He's actually getting stifled out. Can't even trade the blue buff away for that overinvestment on the side of Castle.
Oh, between worlds and blown up. It's the mid laner for GVU slides out.
Another good play from Jinkall. Mind you, this guy was the MVP, one of the most valuable players in the NECC last year. I believe was second team, if not first team all-pro mid laner. So definitely has a penchant for putting the team on his back, giving you some carry performances. Yone, not one of those champions that was really in his wheelhouse, but Aurora, oh yeah, this is a classic Jinkall champion, right? Functions very similarly to all the other mages, burst mages that he plays, whether it's the Syndra, the Ahri, or the LeBlanc.
Now it looks like they're going to swap the lanes back as Nightstar is on his way bottom. He's got Collector and a pickaxe. Pluto is not going to be able to save this turret, although it does have its full plating. But you can see Sir Zephyr does just enough with the help of the minions. So, won't get first turret, you'll get second turret, you'll get a nice infusion of gold onto your Caitlyn, 425 gold. Up a lot of CS, but still not perfect.
Yeah, I should be able to complete that item, right? Oh my god, I don't know if that's
crap.
a misbuy. No, it's not. That's a double BF sword on the side of Caitlyn.
The Roanoa Zoro build.
Yeah. Double. That's exactly what it is here. Sir Zepri, a big One Piece fan. two BF swords is absolutely diabolical. He's going to be doing a ton of damage, at least front-loading his headshots here. Not opting for that legendary item completion could end up meaning a bit of a fall-off towards that mid-game. Once he hits those 2 legendary items, could be absolutely crazy. Let's see, Zepri versus Shamwell, these double BF swords. Can he actually get any damage down there? They've shifted him into that top side.
He's netting toward him.
Yeah, he's trying to siege, man. He's like, give me more plates. Give me more gold in my pockets, please.
Thanksgiving just passed recently, but he is still getting the leftovers up here in the top lane. They're still good for quite a long time. I think the rule of thumb is about a week for Thanksgiving leftovers, Shivy.
Yeah, I would say about a week. Anything more than that, unless it's like macaroni and cheese, like something that has some staying power. I'm not keeping gravy for more than a couple days.
Nah, I'll go out and buy new gravy. It's all right. It'll be on sale.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm not keeping turkey more than like.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Hold on. We're not trying to come through with the Paddle Star. Wow!
Oh my.
Big damage. Forces Nightstar to flash away.
Yeah, good bubble from Evrod, and if he's as lethal on these bubbles as he was on the charms, this could be a rough game for GVU here. Hasn't been able to get a ton of that damage out. It's also stifled a little bit in his build right now. You can see he's kind of sitting on an alternator.
Moving in. Here comes the Nocturne ultimate. They're on the 2. Here comes the call. The Forge God landing onto both of them. Cleanse out from Sir Zephyr. He's able to get all the way away. He's just out of range of that Jhin ultimate, so he'll just burn 2 on the Grubs, but here they come in hot pursuit. Rias is going to have to play Protector somehow, but he got caught on the edge of the ultimate from Jinkall. Absolute disaster. Everard teleports in, but the Paddle Star is blocked. Grandview, convincing win.
Big team fight victory for Grandview around those Grubs. They're going to be able to pick up the 5-1 split there, and you kind of saw what their composition is capable of. Throw the Nocturne ultimate down, Ornn ultimate comes out on top, and there's no way to react. And even if they are on the run, Jinkall on this Aurora, using that movement speed, like you said, catching Sir Zephyr on the edge. Ooh, really, really close to a kill there. Evrot, Luden's companion, could be lethal later on in the game here. We do see the Yuntal Twin Tails picked up for Sir Zephyr here. That is the new build.
It's the Wild Arrows.
What is the Yuntal? What am I thinking of?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
it's the Wild Arrows, right?
Yeah, I think it's Yuntal Wild Arrows. Anyways, that is the new build for the crit 80 carries. right? It builds crit as you auto attack more up to 25%, and then you pick up the IE, and you can generate towards that 100% crit mark. Yuntal Wild Arrows, not Twin Tails. I don't know what the Twin Tails are from. We'll figure that out later. But that is the build right now, and Sir Zephyr is going to be working towards that 100% crit Caitlyn, which hits like an absolute Mack truck later into the game.
Yeah, he's going to be parking that big Mack truck, hopefully, on Summoner's Rift this game. About 13 minutes into the game, 2 dragons for the Eutectics, but they lose 5 grubs. Now, while they don't have that much siege as we talked about earlier, listen, you'll still take those. It'll help out your nearly non-existent sieges. Everyone is stuck around a little bit too long. The lights get turned out, and he walks right into the Aurora. And Castle gets the kill.
Another Nocturne ultimate, resulting in a kill here. Castle really getting a ton of value out of those Nocturne ultimates. Picking up a kill onto Efrot, denying him more gold, putting him off the map, especially on a champion like Zoe, where you want to kind of find these angles, get these sleepy trouble bubbles, set your team up for success here. It's very hard to execute a poke composition. You talked about it, Yanni. That.
Uh-oh.
No. Whoop.
Oh, you dead, bud.
MTV.
Oh! Felt the breeze on that one. Nightstar landed the first 2, but unfortunately, even the best only hit 50% in the NBA.
Blue suede shoes were applied from Zerzipri there, and able to dodge out on the 2 most important Jhin ultimates there. That final one just grazing his ear. And yeah, you talked about it earlier on, right? Executing on this like pseudo poke composition could be rough. And the fact that Evrot just has not had a good game, let's call it, especially comparative to his Ahri game that he had in game 1, it's really tough to execute on this Zoe pick, especially because you're so low mobility, and you've got 2 individuals on the side of both Castle and Jingal on the Aurora, on the Nocturne, that can close that distance oh so quickly.
Rift Herald started up here by the Eutectics. They'll be able to hopefully utilize it, leverage it to get some extra gold in their pockets because they're down about 5,000. But here comes the Nocturne ultimate right on top of Sir Zephyr, and he's stuck between 3 members. 3 assists, 2. James will finish off the Herald. ShamWow getting shielded, which means Johnny Rockets is going to be able to flash off on the backside. James in hot pursuit, but you can't catch ShamWow as he survives. Johnny Rockets should go down on the back end. No? All right. You will survive.
He'll be good to go. He was burning ShamWow alive there, but just too much magic resistance on the side of Ornn. Unable to get the kill, and that ultimate not really landing. I feel like we haven't really seen those big, decisive Rumble ultimates that can like burn and rip through the team here. GVU on a more snap trigger engage composition, right? Nocturne, Aurora. You pick when you want to fight. You pick when to go in. That's really tough for Eutectics, who want to kind of set up this Zoe, who want to set up, you know, the positioning for this Caitlyn, who just has a 90 caliber net, and that's about it to her name for mobility-wise. It's really, really tough. And you can see Evrot getting the damage in. Once he gets that bubble down, the ensuing Paddle Star rips through even ShamWow. He's just unable to participate in any of these fights. He came to that last fight late because he ended up dying earlier on, right, to that Nocturne ultimate that was used on that bot side. And Castle has just been automatic. 3-0-8 on the Nocturne. That's not a typical scoreline you see. Usually, he'll be like 3-3, right? Or 3-3-5. He'll always be trading his life away. But his team has just been absolutely rock star on these follow-ups and has allowed him to hit that 3-0-8 scoreline and just garner more gold.
Yeah, the junglers have really been shining throughout the first game and a half so far, Shibby. Really love to see what they're going to put up next. And if James can turn it around for his team, you know, has that impale. Remember, he can hit it on up to 3 targets. So if he gets off a good one, it could be a winning fight for Grandview, as they are now hovering around this dragon. 40 seconds until this next one, this Hextech Dragon. You know that the Eutectics want a piece of this dragon. Sir Zephyr is completely zoned off. Castle has paranoia. ShamWow on his way down.
Looks like Castle wants to ult in here. Decent angle, but Johnny Rockets on that top side, beautifully pushing his GP up in a little bit here, maybe about 20 seconds.
They don't all whiffs, but they do turn the lights out. Sir Zephyr is completely cut off from everybody else. and he is going to be fine on the side, but things not going so well for the rest of his team. Ace in the hole, blocked by ShamWow. Castle stunned up against the wall, but Zephyr still can't get in there. He's going to take a lot of damage from Nightstar, and now they've managed to get on top of him. He goes down. Rias at least gets a trade kill, but nothing more. A 4-for-1 for Grandview.
Even with the Solar Flare completely whiffing, the fact that Nocturne Aurora is so readily available, the ultimate goes down, and then the Between Two Worlds. You mentioned it doesn't trap you in anymore, but it's still a pain once you get locked in there, right? You have to walk out, you take a massive slow. It's super tough to fight inside of it, especially with the lights turned off, and all the meanwhile Nightstar drilling curtain calls into the back of your dome. Like, it is such a disgusting composition from the Vikings that they've drafted here. Super tough to play against, especially if you're on something like the Zoe. Like, what do? You don't have any time to set up.
And this isn't like the Grandview composition from last game where we were like, hey, you know, they've got really good scaling. They can come back in this game. The Eutectics don't really have that, Shibby. I mean, you've got 6-item Caitlyn, sure. 6-item Caitlyn will not be enough against Grandview.
Yeah, it's super tough here, especially because you're so far away from that 100% crit build Caitlyn that we talked about.
Look at him go. He's going to net over the wall, but a great ultimate. He's forced to cleanse, but he's got to wade through Castle right now, and Castle's just sticking on Sir Zephyr here, who cannot get away, and that means they're going to find Jane 2. It's just disaster after disaster for the Eutectics.
Yeah, that's how you know you're far ahead, when the Nocturne can just press the R button and ult directly into your team, and you're just whittling away. You're trying to kill him, but you can't. You know, you just pea shooter Caitlyn, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yuntall mild arrows, honestly.
Yeah, Yuntall mild arrows. Couldn't have put it better myself. And the Eutectics, after a game 1 win, find themselves getting absolutely battered in game 2 here. 19.5 minutes, 9,000 gold ahead for GVU.
Yeah, and Yuntall just chilled on the bottom lane. By the way, he's got his ego book. He's got his Death Note on 22 stacks.
Ego book.
Yeah, it's just pretty bad here for the Eutectics. I don't think there's going to be a way for them to find a way through Shibby, but we'll see. We've seen miracles happen before. There is a lot of bounties to be claimed on the heads of Grandview. It starts with them. It starts with one thing. Well, you're going to teleport on the backside, as coming through and getting knocked away is Jinkall, trying to go after Sir Zephyr, but Castle will be able to get that first curtain call coming through and will not get the last shot to kill. And now Sir Zephyr is safe. It's a shutdown for Johnny Rockets. There's a lot of big health bars. Knockup coming in from ShamWow. Sir Zephyr gets flashed on by Nightstar, and Nightstar will be able to take him out. Knockup's abound. Rias is super low, but they're starting to turn this fight. It's a 3v2. Evroth doing what he can to land these paddle stars, flashing forward, looking to target Pluto as the shutdown goes on to ShamWow. And now it's just Pluto left alive. Slammed up against the wall. Paddle star, not even enough. It's James getting the double kill. As we said, Shibby, miracles can happen.
Eutectics, and specifically Johnny Rockets, putting the flame broiler on, absolutely ripping through GVU. Multiple overheated flame spitters, just absolutely tears through the GVU, let's call it frontline, pseudo frontline that they have. ShamWow goes down, Jinkall and Nightstar a little too close for comfort there. And if you fight Eutectics team comp in a choke point, in a lane like that, towards that jungle side, yeah, I mean, they're just going to have a field day, right? Paddle stars, bubbles, flame spitters, right? The tasers you mentioned. There's so much damage and so much CC going in to those really tight spaces. Aurora and Jin don't want to be there. They don't like being in those lanes. They don't like being in those really tight choke points. So GVU not really understanding that they can chase that far, and I got baited into a really bad fight. They did end up getting the mid-tier 2 turret after all that hubbub and debacle, but has put a ton of gold in the back of Eutectics.
Grandview biting off a little bit more than they could chew there, Shibby, but 22 minutes into the game. Next dragon coming up in about a minute. If Grandview can just secure these dragons, it doesn't seem like they'll be in the worst of shape. Do note that Nocturne does tend to fall off the later the game goes, but given the fact that you've got Nightstar so fed, that you've got Jinkall so fed, I don't know if it's going to matter too much.
Rias,
he's He's got the Call of the Void. You know what the Call of the Void is, Shibby?
Yeah, I do, actually. He's looking. He's potentially thinking about it. But he spots him out. Grandview Vikings not sneaky enough here. I don't think Jamin and Sir Zipri have the damage for...
Oh, I think they do, Shibby. I am sure that they do. As ShamWow gets cleaned up.
It's a ton of damage coming out from Sir Zipri as he has completed the IE there. So he's at 50% crit. Every other auto attack, in theory, should be a crit for the Caitlyn here. And yeah, lack of armor for ShamWow, right? Doesn't really have that big armor item that we talked about, opted in for that early MR so he could lane against Johnny Rockets. And that pick is possible. Nice play from Eutectics. It was a 9,000 gold lead at the 19-minute mark, Yanni. That has shrunk down to only 4. Still a sizable chunk, but Eutectics?
Pluto goes in, gets slammed into the wall. Sir Zephyr just does too much damage. Jane is the one who gets credit for the kill. Johnny Rockets coming in with a teleport to match ShamWow's and get Grandview the heck out of there.
Pluto trying to save that turret.
Got that equalizer, taking a lot of damage. Here comes Call of the Forge God, lights her out, lands onto 2. They get on to the Zoe, but guess who's fine? It's Sir Zephyr standing tall, ace in the hole with a clear path, gets the job done, and it's 2 kills for Sir Zephyr, 1 for Johnny Rockets. Nightstar knocked up, stunned, and delivered on a silver platter. Double kill for Johnny Rockets and the Eutectics fighting back.
That gold lead once again shrunken down. It was 4,000 now. It's only a 2,000 gold lead separating GVU and the Eutectics. And the Eutectics are like, they want to bite off more. They want, you know what? We got a mid lane team fight win. We got the tier 1 turret. Let's see if we can pick up this Baron here. 6 seconds onto Castle. Ultimate not available. Flashes up, and the Eutectics slowly realize that Lord Baroni is actually going to be their demise here. They're not going to throw like Dignitas would here, but a very beautiful team fight from the Eutectics there. A bit of an int from Pluto, as it was a perpetual 4v5 for GVU.
Yeah, this is so bad, though, Shibby. They could have put themselves on their 3rd dragon going towards Soul Point. Now they're going to have to win another fight with themselves, pulling themselves from their bootstraps, right, to get back into this game. But Sir Zephyr's alone in the mid lane on Vision. I'm surprised Castle didn't just rip it and go for him. He's going to do so now. He gets away from the Alistar, and Sir Zephyr went too far ahead and goes down. Castle able to escape, but now the rest of the fight is just falling apart around the Eutectics. Jay may have gotten off a good ultimate, but it ain't enough. James the last one standing. A triple kill for Nightstar, and Castle will stand tall as the kill goes over to the Aurora.
They're going to pick up this dragon as well as work their way towards that Baron. They're going to go for both objectives here. Death timer's 30 seconds on the side of the Eutectics. TP available for Evrot. Sir Zipri just stepped up a little too far forward. I mean, you couldn't have described it better, right? And the engage distance for GVU, there's a doctrine on the enemy team. You cannot be in a lane by yourself or far away from your team, whether it's top or bot or mid lane. Their ability to pounce on you at a moment's notice, like Eutectics played the last 2-3 fights very, very well. They bunched up, they grouped together, they made it so that at least one of their 2 carries, either it's Evrot or Sir Zipri, can stand and actually get some damage down. But if one of them goes down early, Evrot just simply does not have the extra damage in his kit to make up for the loss of Sir Zipri, and vice versa.
Yeah, Evrot needs some space in this game. With Zoe, you just need some space. That's it. This is why she's from space, right? She's from Targon space.
Oh, yeah.
But it's actually what you need. If they're all in your face, well, guess what? Your paddle stars aren't going to be a whole lot effective, because you're just going to be, beating the tar out of the tanks, and that's not what you want to do. So things looking pretty rough for the Eutectics after, working so dutifully to try and find their way back in.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much sliced down a 9,000 gold lead from GVU, right? They had some meticulous team fights, very good play, and then it kind of just gets wiped away because of one little mistake, one little overextension, let's call it. That's just how deadly this GVU composition is. You pretty much have to play near perfect, especially if you're down in gold on the side of Eutectics, to even get a fighting chance against this team composition. As you see the setup, Zipri by himself, or not by himself, but relatively... Yeah, Nightstar's by
He's
himself
fine.
here.
He's
Oh,
gonna open up the ultimate, the curtain call. Everrock gonna get tagged once,
Block
tagged
the
twice.
shots,
He's gonna block it.
please.
He's gonna survive, but he's gotta dodge out the call of Forge God. He'll be able to portal jump away and just barely survive.
Baron Siege continues. Bottom lane tier 2 goes down. Look at that tier 3 in the mid lane as well. Inhibitor turret standing on a broken leg as that last shot is going to be able to take it down here. And base has been cracked open. Don't know if the Eutectics have a fighting chance. They're looking for something. They're just getting peppered with so much damage.
Everrock needs to find a tag onto someone to turn him sleepy. Paddlestar doesn't do anything. Aurora tagging for quite a bit of damage will force Everrock back. Sir Zephyr is forced to base as well as the mid inhibitor has fallen. Heck, a smite even went down on a minion. That'll be the bottom inhibitor turret as well as the bottom inhibitor. Will the Eutectics pull the trigger here? Somebody's drowsy. Managed to catch the Aurora but had to cleanse. Everything's gone dark. Sir Zephyr is completely cut off. Nightstar is chasing him down off to the side and just fourth shots the man. And it's time for Nightstar to cook. The health bars are low, but not of Nightstar. Johnny Rockets, he's got 4 kills in front of him, but he can't do a damn thing with them. It's a double kill for Nightstar, a 4-0, and Grandview has knotted the series up at 2.
1-1 apiece for both of these guys. As GVU with a decisive victory is getting a little dicey around the 23 to 24 minute mark, but you just see how destructive, how dominating this Nocturne Aurora composition is. And Nightstar on that Jhin heard that there were some DPS issues. Well, the guy was on 3.5, 4 items and absolutely one-shot Sir Zephyr with that 4th shot. It was really tough for the Eutectics to play, right? And we talk about locking in that Caitlyn super early. You know where it's going, but do you have the ability to deal with it? GVU is like, yeah, we could just lock Nocturne and you're done. You can't play the game, brother.
Nah, Sir Zephyr was just kept so far away from some fights. And that mid lane fight was just absolutely killer. That Baron call as well. Just a complete disaster coming down for the Eutectics. And, you know, Shibby, again, I like your point about the DPS, right? You're like, oh, you know, we got questions about the DPS. Well, there's 2 ways you can solve DPS issues. Number 1, you can hit faster. Number 2, you can hit harder. And that's exactly what Nightstar was doing. Just every shot felt like a 4th shot once you got to that late game. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a short break as the teams are going to reconvene. And now we're going to head to game 3 of this best of 5 series with it knotted up at 1 apiece. Shibby, this does mean we will get game 4 shenanigans, but we'll kick it to the game 3 draft first after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to the NECC Division 1 League of Legends Finals between the Grandview University Vikings and University of Health and Sciences Pharmacy in St. Louis, Eutectics. Shibby, one thing I want to say before we actually start doing some analysis, and I want to say this to everybody who's watching, if you're not watching these Wenzel Farms commercials that we have going on, they are absolutely hilarious, honestly.
Very, very good production. You can tell, like, the vision they've got, like, it's bad in a good way, right? Like, it's
They're
like,
not,
all right,
they're not bad. It's like, yeah,
No,
sure,
yeah.
they're not like super professional, but like they're damn good. Like better quality than I think a commercial you or I would put out. Maybe we should work on that 2025. That's beside the point. The Grandview Vikings worked on righting their wrongs. They got the job done. They tied the series up at 1. But the Eutectics were certainly in that game, Shibby. I fear this series is like a car mirror. It's closer than it may appear.
Yeah, 100%. 100% here. Eutectics came out swinging with a very, very solid composition, right? Ari Vi, very easy to execute. And you know what? GVU is like, wait, why don't we do that? Why don't we just run Aurora Nocturne into your face here? And the fact that they had immobile champions like the Zoe, like the Caitlyn. I mean, Nocturne's just going to feast on that every single time here. Now, for people just joining us or for people that don't understand, we are in the full Fearless format. So those champions that were picked in Game 2 and the champions that were picked in Game 1, you'll see as we get into the draft shortly that they're going to be banned away. They are not available for either team to pick up. So 20 champions immediately off the board. And in Game 3, we're going to go through 5 bans for each side. So another 10 champions off the board here. 30 champions will be removed for Game 3. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on these Eutectic guys specifically, who are probably much newer to competitive, haven't really been playing a ton together, right? They're going to have to string together a couple more drafts, a couple more champions out of their pockets. Well, on the side of GVU, I have no worry for a lot of these guys, right? They've been playing a long time. They've been playing together for quite a long time, too. I'm not worried about their champion pools as much. Maybe ShamWow's in the top lane, their newest recruit, but realistically, the other 4 guys, they're rock solid. They'll be fine. It's just tough to craft compositions. That's where it gets tricky.
How can they be rock solid if Malphite is banned? The one thing that we really need to talk about, though, is the support pools, right? This is where Rias is going to be the difference maker in this series because Alistar's gone, Leona's gone, Brahm's gone, Nautilus is gone. You're starting to really reach the bottom of the barrel when it comes to tank and engage champions. And Pluto, as we know, has played pretty much everything under the sun in competitive. He has a very wide champion pool, and that comes with time, right? You'll have played, pretty much everything when you've played 4 years of competitive, right? Even if you've only played 1 game on it, you've played a game on it, you've probably practiced it before. So it should be, if you ask me, I think that's going to be the key there is the support matchup. If they're going to pick early for Rias or if they're going to pick them late and they're going to say, hey, you know what? When it comes time for you to pick, you might have to play an Enchanter.
Might have to play the Lulu or the Nami.
You're on Lulu duty, baby. You are E-Kitten Central.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're going to see if any of these guys have been sleeping on the Discord calls, have been doing their due diligences. Fearless bans in Game 1 and Game 2, as I talked about. All 20 of those champions not available for the rest of the series. We are going to go into Game 3 here, but as we get into Game 4 and Game 5, the rules will change a little bit, but we'll talk about that when we get there, not if, because it is 1-1 GVU and Eutectics here. And GVU on the blue side, Eutectics on the red side for the first time this series. Let's see if they've got any cool red side counter picks that they're waiting to unveil.
Yeah, and this is where you're drafting. Who is ever in charge of the drafting, whether you have a dedicated coach or if it's one of your players that handles it, this is where this value is seen. When you decide to go on the red side and you're going to take 2 power picks. Shibby, I have to ask, in a Fearless series, do you think going on red side just has diminishing returns? Because there's less power picks for you to get.
Yeah, at some point, maybe if you get into Game 4, Game 5, right, we talk about blue side flex picks. I'm a big guy on that, right? Like having the ability to flex multiple champions, threaten into multiple roles on blue side specifically becomes infinitely more valuable the deeper we get into a 5-game series of full Fearless, because there's so little champions on the board and you want to try to get the best possible, right? Best in slot BIS for these guys. And for GVU, if they hit the blue side, maybe that's the best jungler available. Maybe that's the best top laner or the AD carry, and then there seems to be a very steep drop-off. But I think right now, red side, game 3 we're in, I think it's fine. Bans haven't changed too much. The Ashe being removed off the table, Ezreal being banned away from GVU, and they're going to give Nightstar one of his signature champions, another late-game carry, recently popular of the Arcane series, Jinx, for themselves.
And oh, the misery for the Eutectics, because guess what's not available? You have no Nautilus available. You don't have Vi available. You've lost out on some of these point and clicks. Heck, Malphite isn't available, which is, obviously a bit surprising. This is really, really bad. The Eutectics are going to have to get really creative with trying to lock down this Jinx. I like the Sejuani, but again, it is a skill shot with that ultimate, so you might only have one shot. And if that Jinx is able to sidestep the ultimate, you're done. Sorry.
Yanni doesn't even need to sidestep it, right? Cleanse is a beautiful summoner spell, right? And if you take away that engage, if you take away that ultimate, you trade summoner for cleanse there, that's fine, because Jinx gets to rifle away here. And they've gotten themselves a pseudo reset composition on the side of GVU. All it takes is one kill, Yanni, and both Castle and Nightstar are going to rip through your team. And it is absolutely insane, their ability to snowball some of these fights. You talked about how there's not too many supports left on the table. I believe these are the last two, like, hard engaged, let's call it, supports, right? Rel and Rakan going to be removed. Game 4, Game 5, we could end up seeing stuff like Blitzcrank, Thresh, like you mentioned, some of the stuff like supports, like some of the more enchanter-based supports. But like this is as hard engaged as you can get.
Yeah, and this game is key. Obviously, in a best of 5, every game is really important. But if you're going to go to the distance, or you really just want to win the series, Game 3 in Fearless with the last couple of hard engage options is the one that you have to win, because I think winning 2 games when you don't have those options, or they have to be in the jungle with, champions in the jungle that are good at hard engage, not being as good anymore, this is going to be a problem for the team that loses this game. Not just the fact that you're down 2 games to 1 and have to win 2 straight, but the fact that you're going to have to do it on such low resources. Gwen off the table, Gragas off the table. Now we're starting to get into the weird stuff. Hui and Nico are gone as well. I think Nico would have complemented that Grandview composition very well. They're going to go for a Syndra to try to rebuff any engage and also land a couple of picks.
That's a big takeaway from Jinkall as well. 3 of his champions removed off the board immediately, right? Hui and Nico was very, very good on those champions, and Syndra was a classic Jinkall pick, right? He's known to carry an absolute metric ton of games here. The Galio is going to get locked in, and Galio Viego is a very nice mid 2v2. It's not your typical, like, super high damage, but the setup that you've got, and on top of that, now you've got Galio Camille. Oh my god, the Hex Tech of Justice is going to be coming in here, and that is a beautiful composition. Galio Camille is a very old school engage comp.
Oh, and they're going to go with the Poppy as the last pick, Shibby. That is also a potential support option that is now off the table. That's going to go up into the top lane for Johnny Rockets. It's so good here into Camille in lane, into this Galio, and to be able to shut Khan later. This is a super sharp pick, but I worry that the Eutectics do not have the damage to be able to chew through some of these champions. Galio will be able to survive most fights.
Yeah, I think, Syndra being changed into more of a late game kind of champion now with those shards or those splinters does have the ability to just pop somebody like Castle,
Facts.
like Nightstar, right? Like that's her job. Even Pluto to some extent here. Realistically, the Galio is a non-issue if Nightstar and ShamWow go down, right? Like, you're not really worried about the ensuing damage. the best thing you can do kind of is like keep him CC'd, lock him down, maybe even throw a Poppy ultimate his way so he's not allowed back into the fight there. I mean, depending on what build we see from Misfortune here, if it is going to be that Bloodthirster into Essence Reaver that was oh so popular earlier on, or if it's going to be a more armor penetration build, like they've got the damage. It's just setting it up, right? Magnet Storm plus the bullet time is what's going to be key. Locking down Castle, locking down Nightstar. If you can get those ultimates on top of them, you should win the team fight. Eutectics have a very shrewd and crafty composition here, but their ability to kind of layer some of these ultimates up might cause GVU some issues. But GVU, once again, they've got the triggers, right? They've got Rakan, they've got Galio, they've got Camille. Like, they can just, in the blink of an eye and the snap of a finger, say, we're going to engage onto this target, and you can't do anything about it.
Shibby, which composition is going to be more difficult to execute? Because, you know, both of these compositions have, you know, pretty simple execution, but then it gets a little bit complex, right? Like Castle is going to have to really just take advantage of what's set up for him, as well as ShamWow. And on the other side, I mean, you know, outside of putting a big bullet time together, you know, it's going to be difficult to make things happen for the Eutectics.
I think if we're looking at like a 5v5 comp, right, Johnny Rockets just has to press W at the right time.
Yep.
Right? That's not super difficult to do, so ease of execution on the side of Eutectics. But the thing is, if he's not ready, if he's not in position, or maybe they're going for a skirmish where he's not available, oh, ShamWow and Jinkall can absolutely roll somebody here, as we might see a potential. No, we're not going to see anything. I thought they was going to like sneak in, try to go for like a hook shot onto Evrot and like burn a flash or something crazy like that, but no, we're just playing with the fog of war here. I like Eutectics' composition. I think if they can reliably hit some of their CC, right? That you mentioned the Sejuani ultimate or the Magnet Storm here can do a lot of damage, but GVU just have that snap engage. It's easier for GVU to do what they want, but it's also very easy for Eutectics to deny that, right? It's an easy deny. It's not so easy of a counter engage, let's call it.
Well, Nightstar and Pluto are going to walk up. Nightstar's holding, but is definitely a little worried. Gets tagged by a double up there. God, I hate that ability so much. So the lane has started. Interesting to note, there's a call open here for Nightstar.
Yeah, I mean, he's just looking to scale up. He's not really looking to fight with this Rakan. You're not going to beat out a Rel MF lane, especially with how much front-loaded damage she has in her kit, right? Every time she attacks a new target, she does an extra bit of damage. A lot of good MFs. They'll be able to, like, hit a minion, hit you, hit a minion, hit you, right? They'll do some really crazy stuff. But I'm more focused on this top side here because for GVU, they should have complete grub control.
There's Zephyr not getting knocked up there. He's going to set his sights on Pluto for right now. He gets tagged for quite a bit. Good chompers there. Ensure that Sir Zephyr can't do more. But flash down.
Flash down here. It's Pluto. That's not going to stop him, right? He's still going to jump in, dive in, zip out. Rakan, another one of his really good champions, is Evrot on this Syndra, absolutely abusing Jinkall in the ranged melee matchup. Johnny Rockets in this top side was going to go down early, but yeah, I think complete grub control is going to go over to GVU. I mean, they've got so much control with the Galio, with the Camille shoving in this Poppy. Like, 6 grubs is a really good win condition as Evrot is going to take a taunt. That'll be the end of that. Not too much damage coming. Like, Evrot has control of this lane. You see how far he's zoning this Galio.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for the Galio, but as long as Jinkall can make it through this early game without ceding a kill or anything like that, things will be pretty good. You'll be happy with the way that goes because Syndra does have some early power. Obviously, that magic resistance shield, or the magic damage shield, I should say, gonna do quite a bit to ensure that he stays upright. Take a look around the map. Castle's heading over toward the mid lane after clearing out the top side crab. Bottom side crab goes over to James. Johnny Rockets and ShamWow just trading blows a little bit, and here comes Castle. James is ready and waiting. Just lying in wait, make sure that Evrot stays upright.
I don't know if they can go for this.
Flash.
Uh-oh.
Flash with the taunt. James not there anymore. Evrot flashes toward his buddy. James flashes,
my!
but is he going to be able to close out on the kill? He gets the stun, but he gets stunned under the turret, so he's going to fall too. It's a 2-for-1 for Grandview.
And Jinkall Man of Steel there absolutely flashes the stun, flashes over the orb, and gets the taunt in. And fractions of a second, James just went to the Raptors to see if they were up, and that was the call there. Very good. That's what you get when you have Castle and Jinkall, a mid-jungle duo that have been playing for 2 years now, going on their third. I mean, that's one of those instantaneous calls, as we do see Nightstar and Pluto might be in some trouble.
This is huge. Can they find Nightstar here? Rias has to go double back. Chomper's used. Serzepri is stuck. Nobody's going to be able to help here in time. Everott's going to be able to get the kill. That means that Jinkall and Castle forced back to whence they came.
And Pluto posturing pretty aggressively. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is bad. He's level 5. Everott's going to die to the Galio.
Jinkall hiding, lurking in wait for an unsuspecting Evrot, an unsuspecting Syndra. And that's what you got to do. You got to play a little dirty. You got to throw some sand in their face, gouge their eyes out. You're playing Galio into Syndra. There's no handshaking the lane.
No, not at all. You take what you can get, and if you're 2-1-1, up 14 CS at 5.5 minutes against the Syndra as Galio, you are sitting pretty. You got a 2-level advantage, by the way. Jinkall's already level 6, Shibby.
Yeah, and he's going to start getting active on the map pretty soon. Camille takes level 6 as well. Grub spawning in about 10 seconds here. They should have control over these grubs that we talked about. Nightstar pushing down this bottom lane. We do see James walking down, no ultimate. I think they'll just go for the preemptive trade, which I like from the Eutectics. They're more than happy to do this, and Dragon win condition, much better for the Eutectics in my mind, right? They'll love to skirmish around the Dragon. Set your MF up over the wall, get a good Magnet Storm, get a potential Hex Flash or Flash over. Like, eventually GVU is going to have to contest these Dragons, and if they roll an Infernal Soul or potentially a Mountain Soul, GVU cannot ignore the fact that Eutectics are going to start stacking them. Pluto?
Oh, Pluto should be fine. Oh, never mind. He's not going to be fine. He's stuck in the back of the pit. He will be able to get out. Nightstar's going to dump a lot of damage into James, who is very low. Here comes Jinkall coming in. Taunt only lands onto the Rel. James trying to eat some honey fruit.
Zeepri's
trying
here.
to stay upright. They're slowed. They're ignited. Pluto trying to get the last auto off, and he does. Rias is going to be the next target, but Pluto is going to get tagged by Serzepri and go down, and all of a sudden, Jinkall is stuck. Double kill for Serzepri as the Eutectics take a couple.
And a big thing there is that Serzepri stayed in that bottom side because Nightstar went down early. He also roamed, didn't hit level 6. And so Zeepriy was able to drop the bullet time, and getting a ton of damage, zoning and splitting GVU apart, allows him to pick up 2 kills here. Johnny Rockets, let's see if he can outplay this. I've seen Populars do crazy things.
Well, now that he's stuck and he misses the hammer, I don't think he's going to be able to get the job done.
What a caster curse by me. I am so sorry there. Johnny Rockets unable to outplay that. Like you said, gets locked down with that Hextech
The equivalent
ultimatum.
of saying, of course, Justin Tucker's going to make this field goal.
Of course, right? Justin Tucker, you're faded from the money line as GVU looking to potentially take down Serzepri.
Serzepri is just saying, hey, listen, Pluto, if you want to sit back there, you're more than welcome, although he's taking some turret shots. Serzepri, though, will be able to survive as Rias helps him out. This is a free kill.
Yeah, nice flash Q from the MF, able to get a ton of damage, like you said, down, and Nightstar not having that barrier available. Cleanse won't help you live that. 3-0-1 MF.
He hurts.
Last game, Nightstar was carrying on the Jhin. The game before that, Serzepri was toasting kids on the Corki. We talked about both of these junglers trading games blow for blow, but Nightstar and Serzepri have been going ban for ban in that bot lane.
It's been really pleasurable to watch. Big gold lead, 1,400 in the bottom lane for Serzepri. As you said, down to flash, but has that heal available, and this is going to be the guy you have to play around now. I want to see James exploit this bot lane because ShamWow already having a pretty good time. Jinkall is just not going to die. Oh. My God. He's not going to die, and he's going to do that to the turret. So you need to get your wins somewhere.
Yeah, and Jinkall can just go full defensive. Right? He doesn't need to go for like Riftmaker necessarily. Might opt in for a little bit of magic damage after he ends up building his first MR item, but Castle and ShamWow working towards those Triforces. Castle already has his in hand. ShamWow slowly but surely going to work towards that. And this 1-2 punch of Viego Camille, that just guarantees the reset, right? You lock them down in the Hextech Ultimatum. Viego then soul steals the body. Nightstar's also probably excited. Like, there is a big factor for GVU to roll some of these team fights once ShamWow begins to get active, right? And that's going to be rough. How does the Eutectics deal with that? Because there's virtually no counterplay to Hextech Ultimatum.
You can see the bottom lane, James and Rias playing up front here to keep Pluto and Nightstar away, zoning Nightstar off of valuable EXP. Valuable gold as well.
Oh my god, look at James.
James coming through again, just to pay another visit. The chompers get used, they're going to be able to clear out the pink ward, but nothing that Grandview can do to help out their bottom lane right now, Shibby.
Not at all in Johnny Rockets.
Well, we saw this happen before. This time Johnny Rockets will flash out. Does walk back in aggressively.
Yeah, he wants some of the CS. He's been getting denied in this matchup, Camille into Poppy, like you said. Poppy has ways to deal with the Camille, but it's not necessarily like a hard counter, right? Camille just has so much upfront damage, especially with the jungler coming in. Castle providing a lot of coverage as well. Like, this Poppy is just unfortunately going to be stifled in that top side. And another set of grubs going over in the favor of GVU. We talked about how they should have complete control here. 6 grub Camille, 6 grub Galio, and as well as Jinx. Like, there is a very viable win condition. If GVU wins 1 fight or they win 2 fights, they take down your top lane tier 2, your bottom lane tier 2. It could be really rough.
And they need to find a way to get this Jinx off the ground, though. You might need more than just ShamWow on this Camille. You can see on the bottom lane, they're trying to pick on them once again. Nightstar, 72 CS to the 112 of Sir Zephyr, who's farming at a 10 CS per minute pace. Coming down to the mid and jungle of Grandview. Looks like Galio will take the back here, but Castle will remain.
Dragon is up here. Eutectics should be able to pick this up. They've garnered themselves a nice lead in the bot lane, but Jinkall did just burn TP here. Has picked up the Hollowed Radiance. First item MR
Rias
could be an option. Rias!
Well, he walked into, got warded on, and now he's trapped, but he lands a stun onto Pluto. He gets knocked up. Castle coming through. Nightstar with a good ultimate. Here comes
He
the
stole!
mid laner, Jinkall. Sir Zephyr is completely caught here. Had no peel. James gonna go down 2 for a triple kill to Nightstar. And now Evrot's in trouble. Could see a potential quadra, but it looks like Evrot will be able to survive. And Grandview were able to flip that bottom lane.
I mean, almost instantaneously. Like, Reyes getting a little too over-aggressive there. Didn't even use his Magnet Storm. Didn't flash out. Couldn't W out. Nothing. Gets blown up before he's allowed to use any abilities at all. And that first kill gets Nightstar going. Gets the reset for Castle, who took over the Rel body and landed a beautiful Q flash onto Sir Zephyr. Castle absolutely lethal on this Viego right now. 1-0-5. Has made a name for himself on this champion in the MEC, taking it into the NECC and giving Eutectics a run for their money. Uh-oh, Nightstar.
Yep, good heal there from Sir Zephyr to get that little bit extra bit of movement speed that they needed. They should be able to take out this bottom turret to at least go tit for tat here, but I mean, after that big fight from Grandview, it's still going to be tough because, you know, Nightstar, although dying 3 times, guess what? He's got your favorite item. He's got the Twin Tails.
All right, the Wild Arrows. My bad, guys. My bad. Maybe petition for a name change, but
That does
gonna
sound
go for
kinda
that.
cool.
That's kind of cool, but he's going to go for that full crit build, right? Nightstar delayed, still has that cull in hand, 15 until he gets the cash out. I believe Zephyr is close to the Essence Reaver. Uh-oh.
Wow, in the 2v1, trying to take it to Evrot,
That
who's an auto away
damage.
from death. Rias did what he could, but there was nothing more that he could provide.
I don't think Evrot was expecting that much damage coming out from ShamWow. Triforce Camille hammers Evrot's life bar there, unable to get the stun. Beautiful, beautiful roam. ShamWow, quick jog down to mid lane, picks up a kill, and just in time for that wave to crash into the top side there. I mean, just all in day's work,
Oh.
right?
You see all this damage he's doing. It's ridiculous. No, ShamWow is just cleaning them up right now. They're just water.
Yeah, and that's going to net Rift Herald over to GVU. And mind you, they were able to pick up that Infernal Dragon as well. Stop the stacking from Eutectics after that team fight win in the bot side. So realistically, Eutectics have only had one objective to their name when they probably should have had two. They probably should have been on a Chemtech, potentially sole win condition. And now GVU have just taken over. Triforce on both their carries in the top side. Jinkall on this Galio has been absolutely killer. Good ultimates, good CC chain, and GVU's composition, man, it's once it gets going, once it gets that first kill, Eutectics have no shot of turning the fight around. It's really, really tough.
Yeah, it's so hard. There's 3 very snowball-y champions on the side of Grandview, and guess what? They have 6 of the team's 9 kills. You got 5 assists in the pocket of Castle. It's going to be hard to overcome Shibby, but we talked about the Eutectics, and they're very strong engaged. If you can land that combo with the Misfortune Ultimate, you will be in good shape.
Johnny Rocket's potentially looking for a solo kill. I don't know if he can get this.
ShamWow's getting chased down. He's going to flash forward onto ShamWow, but he got a big shield. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the siege is on as Castle trying to defend. Jame ready to come in over the wall, but he gets spotted out by the Galio. There is the ultimate from the Misfortune. Shutdown goes over to Rias, but I'm sure you'll take that if you're the Eutectics.
Yeah, big kill in the mid lane. It's going to open up the mid lane for a little bit more siege. And ShamWow actually ended up winning that 1v1. Johnny Rockets could not get the flash slam into the wall. And once you burn all your cooldowns, unfortunately, Poppy has some really long cooldown rotations, both on her E and her W. Camille is going to win that 1v1. Sir Zipri wants a piece. Never mind. ShamWow's going to hook shot right out of there. He's going to pick up that wave in the top side. Sir Zipri 4-1-2 right now on this Misfortune. A lot of damage came in. You saw the Magnet Storm bullet time combo melt through Castle's health bar. If they can get that onto a couple more members, potentially, Camille or even Pluto, these fights could be looking rough for GVU. But the thing is, Eutectics have to hit that every single time. It's tough, especially because Rel's like hex flashing over a wall. You know what she's going for, so it's much easier to play around.
Yeah, and if you're trying to do it on like a Camille, she's slippery. You're going to have a hard time really trying to lock her down, and that's the one with the bounty on, right? And that's the one that you want to go and cash out a kill on. 17 minutes into this game, just over 1,000 gold lead here for the side of Grandview, but their late game is so much stronger, so the Eutectics are going to have to make a move and fast to try to get to this mid game, try to leverage the strength the Misfortune has provided. Rift Herald getting dropped up in the top lane here. You've got 6 grubs, so it's time to put them all to work. You can see the damage done to this top inner turret, but here comes the rest of the team. Evrot, James, Zepri, all here. The question is, who's going to be able to find a way out? ShamWow trying to hook shot out, but he can't. The shutdown goes over to Evrot. Next target's going to be Castle, but he's blasted close to Sir Zepri, and he will find a kill as well.
Very good collapse. Tier 2 in the top side does go over to GVU. A ton of money goes into the pockets of ShamWow and Castle. Tier 1 in the mid lane got taken as well. I thought the Eutectics were completely foregoing the fact that that top lane turret's going to go down. They're going to go for the dragon. Instead, they get the collapse, and yeah, they lose 2 turrets for it, but they get a ton of gold back in their pockets. That bounty on Camille you mentioned going over in the favor of Eutectics. Mid lane tier 1 going down, and that's going to open them up for this Chemtech Dragon, so a good heads-up play. I'm sure GVU thought Eutectics were going to go for the Dragon, hence why they so aggressively herald that top side.
And, at first it didn't really look too bad. It's like, okay, you trade 2 kills for the top inner turret, but with everything else the Eutectics got, they got that mid turret, they got the Dragon. Guess what? 700 gold deficit. They've brought it right back.
Yeah, I mean, this game, probably the closest one between these two teams up until roughly around this 20-minute mark. I mean, game 1, Eutectics had complete control post 15 minutes. GVU seemed like they were in the driver's seat the whole way through in game 2. It was really, really tough for the Eutectics to kind of get a foothold and get back into the game. This one, back and forth, really good play from both of these guys. Really understanding what they need to do, and the reactionary League of Legends has been really, really good.
Castle coming through to help out ShamWow take this turret, and when you have all these grubs, it's just trivial, Shibby. Johnny Rockets is now getting chased down. He's going to go in onto ShamWow, but again, the shield that Camille gets is just too much for him to handle. Johnny Rockets will fall. Death Rocket wasn't able to snipe the kill. Meanwhile, the bullet time not going to close out on the kill on the other side.
Yeah, James unwilling to invest that Glacial Prison onto Call there. I'm sure if that hits, you layer that on top with the bullet time, he probably dies. And oh my lord, avert your eyes!
Hey, listen, Pluto was just, he was just able to escape, man. He had that double jump, and unfortunately, James, you know, it seemed like, that's the thing with Sejuani Ultimate sometimes, is that if you're not like, yes, this is the time that I throw it, if you're wishy-washy about it, you're gonna miss. Every time.
Yeah. That's true. It's tough here because Sejuani Ultimate, not on the lowest of cooldowns, is pretty crucial for the Eutectics to start some of these fights. It's literally Reyes and Jade. That's it, right? Like, Johnny Rockets has just been kind of abandoned in the side lane, let's call it. He's been getting picked on, bullied by Castle and ShamWow. So if you miss one of those big, crucial CC abilities, SirZepri's not going to be able to follow up. Evrot's not going to be able to do too much there, and you're really relying on these guys to follow up on your CC. If you can't get that first part down, Syndra and MF kind of fall to the wayside, as now a flashless Jinkall might be the apple of Eutectics' eye.
Well, they're getting everybody on top of them. Here's the problem, Shibby. They don't really do a lot of damage. They do manage to whittle down the Granite Gargoyle, and Evrot will be the one getting the kill. Good
pickup, punishing Jinkall in that side lane there. I remember earlier they did burn that flash as Reyes. Don't learn your lesson. He's kind of raw a little bit, right? He's always a bit aggressive here, and has gotten punished previously as the collapse coming in. Look at ShamWow from the right.
Pluto takes a whole lot of damage, but SirZepri got charmed. ShamWow trying to get close on top of SirZepri, but they're doing a good job of keeping him upright. He just takes so much damage, but the CC lock is there. Johnny Rockets gets the kill. And now you have a 3-man advantage, a 5v2. What's the move here, Eutectics?
Beautiful, beautiful fight.
Down the move! Nightstar gets blown up. Castle going to be the next target as they continue. He's forced to flash away. But guess what? Galio came through, and he's got nowhere to go. A sick flash from James to block him, and that means it's Baron for the Eutectics. They turn it around.
The Eutectics punish an overforce from GVU on the top side jungle. Their move, like you mentioned, is to go for more. A flash scatter the weak from Evrot catches out Nightstar and Castle. And the Eutectics, 22 minutes into the game, flip the script. They take the Baron, they take a couple lives, they cash a bunch of gold here. And an errant Jinx Rocket spots out the inevitable, confirms that the Baron is gone here. And Yanni, we've got a minute until this Chemtech Dragon comes up. Potentially putting Eutectics on that sole point here. GVU denying as much as they can. They've taken the Gromp. They've cleared some vision out. ShamWow on the top side does have TP available, so can get a TP flank. He's going to force Johnny Rockets to match him, though. Evrot has to be near this mid lane or this bottom side. Has to play towards his objective.
One thing, the Eutectics are going to be ready to rumble. And Shibby, we didn't mention this, but Grandview has like no magic damage. It is only this Galio. So you can already see a Thornmail's been completed for James, and you're working on it if you're Johnny Rockets. And here we go. We're going to see this Galio try to tank up a lot. SirZepri is completely safe, and he finally gets charmed up. Now Galio's going to try to slay him on top of him, but the turnaround bullet time is strong, ripping them to pieces. A double kill, triple kill for SirZepri.
They're going to push down mid here. The wave's getting cut by the Camille here. Somebody's going to need to answer that. Dragon still up onto the board here. Looks like they're going to try to get everything they can. Two individuals, both tanks, beating this Dragon down. Bottom lane tier 2 is going to be pushed by Evrot and SirZepri here. They should be able to pick this up with Baron in hand. And yeah, that flash bullet time, right? Using it as the engage comes in, that's the best way to use this on Misfortune, right? Not layering it up with your Rel, but instead forcing them to fight into it, forcing GVU to make a decision. Do we stay in this bullet time or do we run out? SirZepri picks up, like you said, a triple kill for himself. 9-1-5 on this MF. We talked about how much of a problem she could be when she was 3-1. Well, she's 3 items in, Yanni. 9-1 scoreline. If you can't get on top of her, if you can't get the kill, she's just going to rip through your team.
Now, without a flash, though, there is opportunity for Grandview, but they might have a very tiny window here. Down nearly 4,000 gold. I mean, they have to make the play, and it has to be under Zerzipri, and it has to be early.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get that Camille Galio. Right, that's the combo you want. The Galio was there. Unfortunately, the Camille couldn't get the Hextech ultimatum down onto the flashless 80 carry. Here's Castle. He's going to have to get on out of there.
And the big reason why this Camille wasn't able to get there, Johnny Rocket's done a pretty good job of just holding ShamWow. Just
locking him up.
Yeah, you know what? In the early game, he got him. You know, he had like, what, 8 or 9 points in the first quarter, Shibby, but quarter 2, quarter 3, complete lockdown defense being played by Johnny Rockets. 0 points for ShamWow.
Yeah, I mean, he's just one of those guys in pickup that doesn't play a lot of basketball, but just locks you down, just knows how to play defense, right?
I see you've seen that TikTok as well, when a non-hooper plays defense on you.
Dude, Johnny Rockets, the non-hooper that's playing defense.
Well, ShamWow looking for a couple of points here. Evrot's gone golden, doesn't get knocked up, but he gets charmed, and he's dead. But Zerzipri is safe, and another sick bullet time is going to result in 2 kills. But ShamWow's full HP, but he's in full retreat. Johnny Rockets off the top rope, on top of Nightstar. Double kill for Zerzipri. They've stunned up the Aphie. Triple kill. Now looking for ShamWow, who's been interrupted, but he manages to get back. It is another win for the Eutectics, and the base starts to crumble.
Ooh, big team fight. Zerzipri up as well, allows him to siege this top lane. Tier 3 here. Inhibitor turret goes down. Inhibitor likely gonna go down here, and you've got supers pushing in that top side. Baron's coming up in 2 minutes. Dragon in 2.5. They're gonna cash in a ton of that gold. They're gonna try to take as much of this jungle camps as they can here, and Zerzipri once again going untouched. A good look. They managed to kill Evrot, but Zipri, the lone DPS survivor here, coming in and absolutely cleaning house against GVU.
And Zonia's just meant that there was too much time that had to be spent for Grandview putting their sights on Evrot. Remember, we said it in the fight before this happened. It has to be Zerzipri, not Evrot. Like, they need to really recognize that this is the guy. And well, this time it can be Evrot here, as I love this side lane attempt here. Evrot with flash, with teleport. He has not been spotted out yet, and he's just going to teleport out to safety.
He's going to teleport to mid lane. He's like, nope, this play's not happening. Potential collapse from the Eutectics if they decided.
We go.
Side of GVU. Flash for flash.
Yeah, not bad, but the cleanse is still up for Nightstar. He's going to have to be very judicious on how he uses it. Inner turret in the mid lane falls. Now they're going to try to catch in rotation. Jaime is here to disrupt. ShamWow is getting targeted by and spotted by Johnny Rockets. Pluto desperately trying to get away. And the teams will be able to regroup with themselves.
And now it's tough because Zerzipri has picked up that Guardian Angel. So even if you kill him, you've got to do it all over again, right? You've got to make sure you can get another set of rotation of spells down onto him, damage, after he reses out of that Guardian Angel. By that time, Johnny Rocket's probably going to have his W up. James is probably going to have his CC up. Like, it is rough if you're on the side of GVU here. Not impossible, as they do just need that one kill so that Nightstar can get excited, so that Castle can reset. They just haven't been really able to do that. They've gotten Evrot, but they unfortunately walked into a Magnet Storm bullet time that just ripped through their team here. Baron started up by the Eutectics here, and they take this relatively quickly. It's a 4.5 item MF. Like, they'll take this down. GVU have no vision on it.
No vision, no contest. Dragon up in 30 seconds. It's the Eutectics world, and Grandview is just living in it right now. It is a huge gold lead of nearly 8,000.
Oh.
Almost catching out ShamWow there. They still might find Pluto somewhere. He's hovering around with Castle and with Jinkall as they manage to link up with each other.
And Nightstar is sitting on 2 items and a couple
They're
dreams
just
here.
going to go. Evrot with a good scatter of the week. Pluto low. Castle, though, is just hitting and hitting and hitting. Teleport coming in closer to the mid lane because Sir Zephyr was there that are going to link back up with each other. Castle manages to find a way out. Pluto trying to protect. The choppers go down. Jame went over the wall. James alone, but the bullet time does so much. The shutdown goes over to Nightstar. It's 5v4. Rias is being chased down as Castle trying to do what he can, but he's got an ultimate away.
This dragon might be in a little bit of trouble here. No smite on the side of the Eutectics here, and GVU punish a good over-aggressive move from the Eutectics here, and they might be able to take this away.
Mega Death Rocket lands. Pluto going in. Stolen away by Grandview.
Yoink.
But what do you lose for it?
Lose 2 members. Pluto and Castle do go down. Luckily, there's not another Baron to take up for another 4.5 minutes here, although top lane has super minions pushing into the top side. Mid lane under siege here. What can they do? Yanni, how much can they get out of that steal here?
Castle down
denies
for 20
the
seconds.
Chemtexel.
Pluto down for 7 more. Mid turret going to fall. No turrets left but the Nexus ones. Inhibitor in the mid lane going to go down. And the Eutectics are unable to get more, so they have pushed Grandview to the brink. But Grandview is not done yet.
Almost about a 9,000 gold lead. Let's call it 8 on the side of the Eutectics here. And getting towards the 30-plus minute mark. Nightstar has picked up Rune Ends. He's 3 items in. Looking to complete into the LDR or potentially that Mortal Reminder on the side of GVU here. He's going to hit that 100% crit jinx. And once that happens, Yanni, these team fights might start swinging in the favor of GVU here. Eutectics, we've seen them in this position before. It took them a very long time to close out game 1, right? They were in a pretty commanding position, and it still took them very long to close it out. That might be a skill of GVU's, but even then,
Pluto's in trouble. James, just drop your ultimate on him. Pluto able to get out of there. Just cleanses himself. The schnasty play there. Wait, he's up a little far here. He's just going in with reckless abandon, and they're not punishing him for it. Castle will land the stun, sure, but Castle's now going to chase down Rias with a big engage. Bullet time comes through, and the castle crumbles.
Big investment, though. Magnet Storm and Bullet Time gets you that 5v4 mana.
Pluto?
Mid lane pushed in. Let's see if they can go.
Unable to get more. Scout of the week lands. Pluto is going to fall. We see an auto on him. Galio goes down. Pluto will survive, making it to the fountain, but Chibi, it doesn't really matter, as this game will go to the Eutectics. They lost 2-0 in the semifinals against Grandview, but guess what? They flipped the script, and they are now just 1 game away from claiming the NECC Division 1 championship.
2-1 right now. We're going to go to a game 4, and the Eutectics, the guys that we pegged as the underdogs, a team that should not be counted out, a team that should not be underestimated, find themselves 1 game away from the D1 title for the NECC League of Legends Championship. And GVU backs against the wall. They've been in this situation before. They've got ice in their veins. I know that their players are ready. Yanni could be going to a game 5 here, but that's going to take a lot of work.
Dude, it is going to be ridiculous if Grandview manages to tie this one up and send it to a game 5, because guess what, Shibby? This could have been a 3-0. Like, there was a time in game 2 where we could have seen a win for the side of the Eutectics. But they're up 2-1. They have been the better team by far in this series. I am willing to say it. And Grandview needs to wake up. This is not the Grandview that you or I expected to see walk into this series. They have been sleepwalking. I understand it's late, but you got to wake up at some point. I understand we're gamers, but you can't be sleeping until 10:44 p.m. Eastern time. Like, that's just not how it works, Shibby.
Yeah, I definitely. And I think as we get into the full Fearless, as we get into Game 4, Game 5, that's where the shenanigans begin to ensue here. Eutectics are going to have to dig deep as more champions are off the board. 30 champions taken off the board here, and they're going to have to dig deep into their pockets, deep into one more composition to net them the win here. I talked about if we get deep into the draft, if we get deep into the games, I'm not worried about GVU. I'm worried about the Eutectics. So far, they've been picking some really cool compositions. The Syndra and the Sejuani, the 1-2 combo, really, really good. And Sir Zepri just putting the team on his back in that game. Massive, massive carry performance on the Misfortune.
Without a doubt. And the drafts are going to get a little bit different, but we'll talk about that more when we come back from this break. I'm going to go get some G Fuel because it's getting late. Shibby, you go get a meat stick. Thanks to our sponsors, G Fuel and Wenzel's Farm, the absolute goats. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll kick it to the Game 4 draft. It could be the end of the series. The Eutectics, they're so close that they can taste it.
That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You got to give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there.
Come on.
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just. What do you mean you can't?
go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach, hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side. Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You got to give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's probably worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there.
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I do a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach, hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself.
Welcome back, everybody, to the NECC Division 1 League of Legends Finals. The Grandview Vikings, who were the favorite coming in, are down in the series 2-1 to the Eutectics. The Eutectics smacked them in the mouth in Game 1. Almost had it. Game 2 almost had that comeback. And then in Game 3, proved that Game 1 was not a fluke. And now the Eutectics sit on the precipice of the championship.
2-1 underdogs, right? They lost, like you said, in that upper bracket match against GVU. Download 75% complete for the Eutectics, right? They've almost adjusted the USB stick. It's going, it's going. You know, the old
66%?
school, maybe 66%.
Well,
however
you know,
want
you have
put
to
it.
win 3 games, right? So like 1/3, they're
True.
2/3 of the way there.
True.
It's,
Yeah, and
you
it's
know,
like
they're
the little
hoping to get that
download.
last 33% that goes through like that, you know, instead of like, oh, you know, it's the one that takes forever. Everybody knows that one, right?
Yeah, you put your finger on it and like, did it move? Did it move?
Oh my God. Yes, yes, I have done
Core
that.
memory.
I have totally
Core
been
memory.
like, I don't know if it's moving. Bro, listen, I tried to download World of Warcraft on a Windows 98 PC, all right? It was not my wisest decision. I would tell you a story about that, Shibby, but honestly, I wouldn't be able to cover it in a cast, so I'm sure I'll tell you later. As we are here, Fearless Bands. All right, Shibby, why don't you tell them about how different the draft format is?
Yeah, so in full Fearless, now that we are in Game 4 and potentially going into a Game 5, as you see below me, the champions in Games 1, 2, and 3 are not available for the rest of the series. So 30 champions off the board immediately. But to combat having so many champions not available, so we don't see like Teemo Jungle or anything crazy like that, in Game 4 of full Fearless, the teams only get their first round of bans. So only bands 1 through 3 are available. So there's no four extra champions don't get banned. So that means in theory, 4 extra champions are opened up. So instead of 40 champions being banned, it's actually ends up only being 36. And if we get into Game 5, Yanni, which is the spiciest part of full Fearless, there are no champion bans. Like there's nothing at all. There are no champion
This is
bans.
some good ASMR right here. That's some high quality stuff. You should consider making a channel for that. Taking a look at the bands here at Grandview, they're sticking to, I would say, what is working, but you know, we haven't seen a game with these champions on the Rift, so maybe banning something else would be the move, but they're going to stick with what they've got over on the side of the Eutectics. They're going with what's worked for them.
Yeah. I mean, bans haven't changed too much here. Mind you, GVU has opted in for blue side this game, right? They lost, so they would have had loser's choice on what side they want to go on. And we're getting down into the weeds here. And another champion that Nightstar is oh so good on, that on-hit Varus that we're most likely going to see out of GVU here. And Yanni, a lot of 80 carries off the board. No Misfortune, no Caitlyn, Smolder, right? Corky, tons of champions. Jin not available as well. Ezreal and Ashe have been banned out. realistically, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, right? Kog'Maw is not available as well here.
You know who is?
And what do you have? Oh,
All right. Well, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Kaisa. Kaisa's available as a good champion, but it looks like Ziggs will be the pickup. And listen, if it goes to Sir Zipri, listen, this guy's played a lot of mid lane too, so yeah, this should be a champion pick that he is well acquainted on. On the other side, we're going to see as Jin Zhao come through. So far, should be this is looking like a nice meta composition, despite the fact that we're playing down 36 champions.
I know. We're definitely down in the hole here. And, if it gets to game 5, it's going to be 46 champions, right? There's going to be even more champions off the board here. But you got to realize LeBlanc will be up, Ezreal will be open, Kog'Maw, Ashe, these big picks that have been banned away from games 1 through 4 as Jinkall is going to lock in the Akali early. What a champion. Akali Xin Zhao as a mid 2v2. I mean, Assassins paired up with Xin Zhao jungle. That is a dominant mid 2v2. Really hard to match here. Most likely this Wukong's going to go into the jungle here. Azir is still available as well. Let's see if Evra is willing to pilot that. This Maokai could be flexed into jungle support if this Wukong ends up going top lane. So Eutectics have kept their draft a little bit more flexible.
You see what we're getting in the other part of the bans?
These bans, that's KO, that's Astra.
KO and Astra.
There's ISO.
ISO taken off the board as well. It's gonna be
really big pick. That would have
that
ban. Ultimate. Yeah, that ultimate being able to isolate one guy out, put him in the 1v1. I can't imagine throwing a league player into an ISO 1v1.
And we're going to take out Chamber as the last one. Definitely has caught a couple of nerfs in his time, but still an incredibly strong agent worthy of banning. Back to the real stuff. Listen, Grandview, they're looking to just womp the Eutectics here with what they have in Engage. This is not a champion I would have picked into what I'm seeing here, but you know what? They're going for it. I don't even know where the solution's going to go, to be quite honest with you, Shibby.
Yeah, it could still go mid lane, right, into the Akali here, and Renekton being picked up for ShamWow here. I mean, this is a slam jam, thank you, ma'am, kind of composition from GVU.
Come on, right? Slam and welcome to the jam.
Yeah, they're just diving full head first. Does not matter. Bard. And Pluto's going to pick up the Bard. Pluto's Bard is actually kind of goated. He's actually pretty damn good on this champion. Let's see. He's a bit rusty. He's a bit out of practice. But when Pluto picks the Bard, the gauntlet does go down here. And looks like this Maokai is going to be flexed into the support role. And it is going to be Lucian mid for Evrot into the Akali. An uninteractive bot lane for both of these guys. I mean, what better can you do, right? Ziggs is going to perma push you in. He's going to be super uninteractive. If you're Nightstar, you're just going to be farming up. Bard, a champion that functions off of very little gold, can, kind of pick up EXP with those chimes. Him roaming, I mean, I expect Pluto from top to bot in the instance, right? Even has Hail of Blades ready to go. Hail of Blades. This guy's looking to do damage, buddy.
Well, it's going to be a little problematic, right? As long as Rias doesn't step up a little too far, and Pluto is going to be hard-pressed to get a lane advantage off that damage. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, it's so over.
Yeah, you lost.
I like the solution into the Akali. I think that, I was like, all right, it really needs to go in the mid lane for it to get really any sort of value. Wonder if there's a world where they would have lane swapped top and mid and send Lucian into a Renekton to try to keep him down.
Yeah, I mean, Akali should be fine. There are a lot of good kill angles once Jinkall hits level 6. Yep. Jinkall, fantastic. Akali, I talked about him being a mage player. He was one of the guys, a couple of years ago was flipping the Akali and the Sylas both on each side of the matchup in the MEZ, right? Just able to kind of play both sides, did really, really well. So he's no stranger to this champion, has had massive carry performances on it. But Evrot on this Lucian, he's going to be looking to put some pain down. And I think Lucian functions so much better in a solo lane, especially given how many nerfs he's taken to that bot side.
Yeah, given the fact that you can, buff yourself with your passive, with your W, you're pretty happy with that. So, he gets good trades and he's always going to be ahead early. I think the key here is none of them have Ignite. Really good for Lucian that Akali doesn't have Ignite. Really good for Akali that Lucian doesn't have Ignite, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I can get really sneaky on the kill angles because he's going to dash in like that and a couple more autos and it might have been an ignite range. So the fact that both these guys have TP available, I think the one thing I can harp on Nightstar is that he ended up taking barrier. Typically, when you do see Ziggs in the bottom lane, you will look to match TP for TP. So this means that Zipri can get a really nice shove in, play super aggressive, back for his tier, plus potentially like the amplifying tome, and then TP back in the lane and not lose any momentum, any sort of momentum in that bottom side and tempo, and just keep Nightstar pinned in lane, which is really what Ziggs is good at, right? Keeping you in lane, because if you leave, he's gonna do tons of damage to your turret and get it within satchel range eventually.
Yeah, it's just going to take a little bit of time to get there. Both junglers on the top side of the map on their respective buffs. So wonder who's going to make an impact in one of these lanes first. I imagine they're going to be on a collision course for each other, Shibby. And right now, it'll be looking a little bit more favorable for Jame as this top wave is starting to shove into Johnny Rockets.
Renekton, pretty solid matchup into the Aatrox, at least early on. Match the sustain, also has a ton of damage. That stun as well kind of disrupts Aatrox's kind of combo, his spell rotation here. So I expect ShamWow to have an early CS lead and really leverage that 2-item power spike that we see most Renektons do, right? They go like Sundered into Sterax, or sometimes they'll go Eclipse into Sterax if they're feeling a little bit more aggressive. And they'll just be this really tanky, unkillable crocodile flanking on you, and you can't really do too much about it. Relatively short range for Eutectics, by the way. Other than the Ziggs, this is a relatively short range composition for the Eutectics here.
Yeah, and the good news is, Grandview isn't going to outrange them outside of, like Varus maybe. The bad news is that means that if you're the Eutectics, you're going to be in the muck with Grandview. And, they have some champions that don't necessarily want to be in the muck, Lucian namely.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, too, because, yeah, you've got Cyclone on the side of Jame, but Castle has a really good ultimate, right, on the Xin Zhao, can kind of negate any of the Sir Zipri damage. ShamWow going to be ripping through people with his Dominus, and Nightstar on this on-hit Varus. I mean, he's just going to have free range on practically everybody.
Rot doing a really good job of 16 CS right now in the bottom lane. Small lead for Sir Zipri, but that's going to get equalized out once this hits the turret. So, things fine in the bot lane, really good in the mid lane here. So Jinkall is going to have to back here. I don't know if Evrod has the mana to be able to clear this quickly enough, because we're just going to see an immediate teleport back.
Yeah, and I like that Jinkall took the Doran shield into the Lucian, right? Kind of negate some of that kill pressure, allows him to stay in lane a little bit more. And like you said, both of these guys are just going to trade TPs, although Evrod has a nice 12 to 15 CS lead here. I like how Jinkall's looking for him as well to stop the back. He's also pulled the wave a little bit.
Yep.
That's the big thing. So that's going to get that in his favor. He's going to be able to push it onto his side and force Evrod to play a little bit farther up.
Really smart stuff here from Jinkall. Shivy, I believe this is the calmest game that we've had to start things off in this series. And that sort of thing happens in a series where somebody is up 2 games to 1 or 2 games to none even, is that you start getting really, really careful if you're behind. And if you're ahead, you're just like, hey, you know what? We can just win our lanes and get our advantages. We're not pressed to actually do anything.
Yeah, match point games tend to be a lot slower for both sides, right? Obviously, the losing team, or the side on the losing side, is going to be a lot more cognizant of not going down early, not giving too much gold away. And on the side of the winning team, yeah, they don't want to throw, right? They don't want to be down in that situation where they just have to win one out of the next 2 games, and they're like, wait, it's slowly slipping away, right? You could end up kind of self-tilting if you throw away a 2-1 lead here. So both of these teams, like you said, really quiet. Oddly enough, they're on very aggressive champions, both GVU and Eutectics, right? The Lucian, the Wukong, the Aatrox. Look on the side of GVU, Renekton, Xin Zhao, Akali. Despite the champions being known for their early aggression, the players piloting them with a Zen-like calmness.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think that you're going to have to leverage the strength coming out of these champions, right? Because eventually this Akali is going to be able to one-shot Lucian or get him super low before he can actually do anything more, right? And you have the strength right now because you have not only a longsword, but you have the pickaxe as well. It's time for the Eutectics to do something. I feel like it's going to be once James hits level 6. And Castle's already level 6, so James got to get there quick because time is of the essence for the Eutectics.
Yeah, I mean, Wukong is completely happy just farming towards that level 6, right? Like, that's what he wants to do. He does have a little bit of pressure when he does pick up that Sheen or potentially that Phage that he's working towards. He's going to most likely go toward that Triforce. But once he hits level 6, like you mentioned, that's when things start to get really, really active. Castle on this Xin Zhao hasn't been able to find any angles, right? Either on the top side or the mid lane here. Bottom lane is Ziggs Maokai. Good luck ganking that. So this Xin pick, albeit really good on farming, has kind of outpaced and out-tempoed James. It's a Xin Zhao at the end of the day, right? He spikes at one item.
Yeah, Castle will certainly be strongest. ShamWow able to trade effectively into Johnny Rockets. He does have that heel cut, Executioner's Calling, so something to be aware of as the game progresses, Shibby. So far, you know, everything's chilling, right? About 3 minutes to the next Dragon's up. James is just continuing to full clear as well as Castle. Castle's just got that level up on it, right? And that is going to be big because if Castle can fight on mismatched levels at this point in the game, it's going to be so beneficial.
Yeah, it's tough because I would have wanted to seen Pluto get a little bit more active on the map, right? He's got Halo Blades, he's playing Bard. Like, you are on the champion that can look to maybe force numbers advantages because you're playing such a mobile support. You're essentially playing a second jungler if you're on Bard here. I was hoping Castle and Pluto would be able to buddy up, hit that 2v2, and maybe pressure Johnny Rockets, pressure James in his jungle, but he's kind of been locked into this bot lane along with Nightstar here, and like this Bard pick hasn't really come into fruition as much as we'd like.
Castle's going to get to the top lane first. Johnny Rockets is trying to float away with that World Ender. The question is, can he dodge out of the Wind Becomes Lightning? Not so, and he will fall flash for flash, but first blood to Castle.
Yeah, you got to flash the Wind Becomes Lightning, right? You see so many people to try to flash the follow-up afterwards. You're playing Xin Zhao. You have so much upfront damage, especially with the E and plus the Q. Like, the attack speed, steroid, it becomes really, really tough. Johnny Rockets got a little too greedy. Didn't respect Castle on this Xin Zhao. Doesn't flash the Wind Becomes Lightning. And because this game has been so quiet, GVU, on paper, have better mechanical players. You can see they've garnered themselves some nice kind of gold leads across the map here.
Yeah, I mean, even though you have 2 plates in the bottom lane, right, and haven't given up any, I mean, you got a plate in the mid lane for Jin Call, right? Everard hasn't taken one in return. Pluto coming down here, looking to make a play on the Sir Zipri. He's got to get close to that Shadow Charge. He does, but Castle is here. Sir Zipri still has the flash in the back pocket, but he's just going to hold on to it. And the Globetrotter from top to bottom making plays.
Beautiful, beautiful play. Castle coming in as well through that magical journey. This is what we expected out of the Bard, and they're able to get a wraparound onto Sir Zipri, like you said. Although that's going to give up credence for these grubs. I think this is going to be the first 3-3 grub split we see this series, right? Mostly it's been 6-0, 5-2, 5-1, or 4-2. Realistically, the grubs have gone into one team's favor, but because it's a quiet game, I say that.
Everard can't get close. He's being zoned off. ShamWow is here, so is Pluto. 2 grubs for the Eutectics, but now they're going to engage onto Rias. Rias desperately trying to get away, but the Tempered Fate will mean that he will fall. It'll be Castle with a 3rd kill.
And it is going to be a 4-2 split. Spoke too soon, unfortunately, for the Eutectics there, and it's going to go over in the hands of GVU. Akali and Renekton having grubs availability, having that 4-2 split with the Void Mites, going to make them a little bit more deadly on that side lane. So Zipri. Oh! Happens every now and then. Nightstar misses
The hardest
the
ultimate
chains
to
of
hit
corruption.
for AD carries for some reason.
Really? You think so? I feel like Ezreal is so
Dude,
hard
it's
to hit.
so slow, man. Like, Versal is so slow.
I can feel the pain in your voice. It happens. It's a Varus ultimate. You'll have it up. As we've talked about it, as he missed it, it's already a quarter of the way done on the cooldown. Like, it's a pretty relatively decently low cooldown there, so we'll be able to throw those out.
He's not going to have it
with
for this
impunity.
dragon fight. Castle has been spotted out. He's going to engage onto Everard. Malcolm is there. Castle trying to do what he can, but Everard gets the shutdown. The only time it's acceptable to go melee range.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to get them this dragon here. Eutectics have had a penchant for securing dragons this series, right? They've very consistently been on either soul point or near soul point here. And last game was pretty much the only exception as the top lane brawl happens.
Well,
Dominus gets
Johnny
invested.
Rockets still has that World Ender in the back pocket after the Dominus out used. Now Johnny Rockets says it's my time to go in. Just going to use it to clear out the wave. He is down severely, almost 30 CS. It has been a struggle up here. Meanwhile, unrealized gains pretty much elsewhere around the map for the Eutectics. Small lead in the mid lane, small lead in the bot lane, if that, because of the assist.
Yeah, and Castle's 3-1 on the Zinzao right now. Front-loaded damage has unlocked his Sundered Sky. Everybody's going to be start ticking towards their legendary items soon. Zepri going for that Archangel Rush. I actually like that, simply because there's so much burst on the side of GVU. Exactly. That Archangel Shield can really make or break some of these team fights here. And Jame spots out Pluto. 3 members on the bottom side here. Castle's here as well on the GVU side. And just look at how Jinkal and Castle are moving together, denying Evrot any sort of space, making him go around the safe way. Like, I love that they've understand their champions and understand how scary they are. Even if they're not close, they can threaten kill range. They can threaten a potential dive here. And Evrot paying respects dutifully.
Yeah, I mean, they're the strongest champions on the map right now. You know, 124 CS Akali, down 4 CS at 14 minutes to the ranged Lucian. You weren't the one who surrendered the kill. You have an assist. This is a really, really good. You're really strong. I like that Grandview has been able to get aggressive with Castle, and their solo laners are, I mean, winning in the top lane. In the mid lane, you know, you might not be winning, but, like, you're winning.
You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. This Lucian pick not doing what it needs to do, right? As Sir Zepri, he's going to get this turret into satchel range. And this is kind of just what happens. You are bound to lose first turret against the Ziggs here. A lot of that pressure was put on that top side from GVU. Right, Castle did pay a visit with that magical journey, but he's been mostly topside. Gives a couple ganks over to Shamwell. They're going to be able to pick up this Rift Herald. GVU has had really good Rift Herald control for a majority of this series, and I've really liked how they used it. They've been typically using it to pick up tier 2 turret gold, as Jinkal is going to have to back out, spots out Jame. 0-0-1 scoreline for the Monkey King. Let's see if he can flip that around, though. Level 9 on this champion.
Well, Johnny Rockets is going to pop the World Ender, but he hasn't been able to actually tag Castle with anything. He's forced to flash away. Here comes the Grasping Roots. It's enough healing for Johnny Rockets. He's able to slide out of there, and Castle will go down. Sir Zepri gets his first of the game.
There's a big, big kill going over in favor, and James says, I'm not
Rockets
done.
in trouble. Yep, there's the Cyclone knockup. James got the second one ready to go. The question is, who's going to be able to get this kill? ShamWow trying to get to the minions to heal. He can't. It's a shutdown for Sir Zepri. And finally, the Eutectics make their move.
2 big kills as well, right? And he just picked up that lost chapter. He might be able to complete that. Pluto.
Evrot.
Oh.
He just walked into melee range against an Akali.
I don't think he was expecting Pluto there. The
Even if he wasn't there.
And, yeah.
That's
Unfortunately,
tough.
Evrot goes down. Turret goes down as well. GVU, something they can hang their hat on. Jinkal 1-0-1 on this Akali. Seen
Johnny
Magic
Rockets
Carry
is here.
performances before.
So is Castle. This is a 3v3. Jame getting in there, but no Cyclone available. Castle able to ensure that his teammates are able to get out.
Heal was used by Pluto as well. Gives him that little extra little bit of move speed. Jinkal 1-0-1. Still has the ability to assassinate champions like Lucian, like Ziggs, but I talked about it. Sir Zepri was on Lost Chapter before he picked up those 2 kills. The fact that he gets the turret in the top side, the 2 kills, the shutdown, the dude backed and got Luden's companion there. I mean, he's on 2 items at 16.5 minutes. No one is even close to his power right now.
Yeah, this next team fight has to be Sir Zepri's. He has to win it for his team. He is so incredibly strong right now. Let's see. Oh my god. He just tagged. That's his Q, by the way. That's his Q ability. He's just gonna keep tagging.
25%.
Yep.
25% health.
Keep
gone.
tagging these low health targets. Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds. Listen, the Eutectics with this poke, Shibby, they could put themselves on 3 dragons really early. I mean, Pluto's already down to half.
Yeah, say goodbye to your last bar, right? As Pluto, fortunately not able to get any vision down. And yeah, that can put them on the soul point. 22, 23 minutes in. And granted, it is Ocean Soul. That's pretty helpful into a composition like GVU. And it's going to use this Herald to pick up tier 2 gold potentially. I don't know if Johnny Rocket's going to let this go so willingly. See what he can do.
Well, he does a little bit of damage to Shelly there. But this time around, there is nobody on the Eutectics up here to stop Castle.
The wave's
And
gone.
Call. Yeah, that wave did get obliterated, but I don't know how much the turret's actually going to help at this point. It does go down. Johnny Rocket's now in a 2v1. He does have that World Ender active. He gets knocked up. He's going to need to try to tag somebody big, but the perfect execution. A kill for Akali in exchange for the Dragon.
A kill on top of tier 2 turret gold there, going into the favor of Castle and Jinkall. Jinkall's going to back. He's going to pick up his second item. So him and Sir Zipri, band for band right now. Who can carry harder? Whose AP champion can do more work here? As the siege continues, and it's so annoying for the side of GVU. Like, he's just throwing bombs with impunity. Blue buff is eventually going to become global in about a minute and a half because of that Baron that spawns. And, I mean, as long as Eutectics can secure those blue buffs for their team, Sir Zipri is just going to be able to throw these out freely, and he only needs to land like a couple. A 2 in 10? If he lands 2 out of the 10, that's more than enough. Another chain of corruptions misses just the tip here. Turret goes down, and Sir Zipri just brute forced the mid lane tier 1 down, and they're looking at the blue buff. They're giving it over. Oh man, just good League of Legends. That brings a tear to my eye.
You know, listen, that tier's already fully stacked. You don't need to cry anymore. As things are looking pretty good for Sir Zipri, but now Pluto, Castle, and Jinkall on the bottom side, maybe trying to make a play. Pluto getting tagged really low.
Whoa,
that Cyclone got invested. Hasn't gotten anything yet. Johnny Rocket's in big trouble. Teleport coming in from the Lucian from behind, but here comes another teleport. It's going to be this Renekton coming in. He immediately gets rooted. Everett trying to do his thing in the lane portion. ShamWow trying to heal up. Ultimate from Bart doesn't do a damn thing. Culling going down. Plenty of damage. And Sir Zipri is safe for right now. Rias gets tagged by Jinkall, but Jinkall taking out about half HP. Sir Zipri's trying to do what he can, get more damage out. But Everett's in melee range. Everett can't close onto the kill. James flashes forward. He's got him, but Sir Zipri's alone. And he needs help. Nightstar is going to try to cut him off, but he's not going to be able to. Castle can't walk him down in the jungle. A crazy fight here, Shibby, that ends up going 2 for 2.
Yeah, and realistically, it was a really early death from Johnny Rockets, right? He died super early in that fight, but Sir Zipri and Everett able to pump out the damage. The culling plus Mega Inferno Bomb picks up a kill, and like you said, the rest of GVU couldn't chase. Jinkall did not have perfect execution available. Has picked up the arm guard, is also sitting on 2 needlessly large rods here. Whether he's going to turn that into a Shadow Flame plus Zanya's, or if he's going to rock that into a Rabadon's, we'll see. Johnny Rockets knows something's up. I mean, come on. It's one wave, brother. It's one cannon. Don't do it.
Oh, he greeted for the cannon, and now Johnny Rockets is in trouble. Unless he can chase down Pluto. Here comes the ultimate from the Ziggs. It's going to do quite a bit of damage. Pluto is a sliver away. But here comes Jinkall coming in. The heel cut is there, but he flashes back, trying to get to the rest of his team, but he can't. Going golden is Jinkall. And well-timed means that Jinkall is able to get out and survive, but now ShamWow could find himself in trouble. Sir Zipri is just raining death with these bouncing bombs, but not able to get any kills. It's another for GVU.
Beautiful, beautiful Tempered Fate coming out to save his mid laner. I talked about Pluto, how good he is on this Bard. Man hasn't seemed to lose a step here. They are nurturing that gold lead, about 1,000 in the favor of GVU, but it doesn't feel like they're winning, right? Like, it feels like Eutectics are just kind of slowly but surely churning out fight wins, and when it gets to those 5v5s, it feels really tough for GVU. They have to really work really, really hard, blood, sweat, and tears to get those kills here. And GVU, see if they can keep finding these side lane picks, keep finding these guys greeting for these kills. The best thing that they have to their advantage, that mobility, their ability to get around the map really quickly. Sir Zipri Brother, don't extend super far forward. You already did it once on the Caitlyn.
He almost got tagged by the Bard Q. There'll be a turret in the bottom lane for Jin Call, and Shibby, one thing that we really need to talk about is while the Eutectics are seemingly in a good spot, listen, Jin Call has 5 kills on Akali. He is able to kill anybody on the enemy team right now, I think. And he's got his full Zonias on top of it as well. Dragon in about 30 seconds, he's going to take it back, so he's probably going to have to burn his TP as the team is getting set up. Johnny Rockets has already taken it back here. No teleport available.
Yeah, he's going to have to take the long walk of shame. Everott does have TP, but I feel like a Lucian TP just doesn't hit as hard. It's not as menacing as an Akali or a Renekton TP, right? And if GVU can get that TP flank down, if Jin Call can find an angle, Everott can kiss his life goodbye, potentially even Sir Zipri here.
Everett walking in very aggressively. He's going to dash at Castle, try to chunk him out. When becomes lightning, lands on Sir Zipri. Sir Zipri's in trouble.
Zipri?
He's able to hop away. Grasping roots aren't going to land onto anybody.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Rias is in a bit of a weird spot here. He can't help out. Everett can't get the culling to get a kill, and he's going to flash away. Perfect execution, but he goes out to avoid the knockup. And Grandview go 1-0.
Nice team fight from GVU. Good tempered fate. They're able to catch Rias. And yeah, you mentioned those grasping roots. Not able to really get anybody.
Teleport for teleport. They're going ban for ban. Jimmy. Here we go. 8,000 HP on this dragon. It's going to be close. On the one side, you have Jin Call, but on the backside, ShamWow Castle trying to bear down, trying to get to Sir Zipri. Sir Zipri gets himself to safety and is starting to rifle from far away. He invests his ultimate, and it's not available for the dragon anymore. Jin Call is so low, and he'll finally fall. ShamWow onto Everett, but Everett lives. Castle, when it becomes lightning, gets in there. He's low, he goes down. Do they have the damage? They do. But guess what? Nightstar's full HP. Pluto half HP. Everett is stuck. Rias is in the weeds trying to help him out. But guess what? Nightstar gets his quadra kill.
Lethal tempo. Varus firing away, hammering away here. The man was 0-0-3 before this fight, by the way. Beautiful team fight from GVU to stick it out. It doesn't matter if you kill the Renekton, the Zinzao, the Akali. There's a bit more damage coming in here. GVU, numbers advantage. Almost looked like Eutectics had it here, but they just did not have enough gas in the tank. GVU deny the Ocean Soul. Work towards that first Ocean Dragon here and talked about nurturing that 1,000 gold lead. GVU, 4,500 right now.
It's flourishing.
Very commanding lead.
It's flourishing.
Very
they watered it every day, talked to it every day, and this is what happens. The gold lead has blossomed. Things are looking mighty good at Fort Grandview right now. Still on a knife's edge when it comes to these dragons. At any time, Sir Zipri can land a great Mega Inferno Bomb to take away a dragon. So I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to hold it. Team was going to back out. They were just going to play for the 50-50. They did not, especially when they're all melee. Things looking okay for Grandview. This Baron up. Yeah, they just need to pick off 2. If you get Sir Zipri, this Baron is yours.
It's tough because I feel like Sir Zipri just hasn't been hitting some really good Mega Inferno Bombs. He's been trying to using it.
Everett doesn't deal any damage anymore. And now he's in the face of this Akali. He's in melee range of the Akali. Perfect execution. Oh! He get a kill in a 1v3.
He'll take that. Jin Call on this Akali, showing why he's so deadly on this champion. And yeah, the point I was making, Sir Zipri's Mega Inferno Bombs, he's been using them to kind of like snipe kills instead of just getting a ton of damage down. And every single time Jin Call has been able to either Zonya's it, Pluto's been able to use the Tempered Fate. It's kind of rough. It feels like your ultimate is very useless if you're the Ziggs here. I feel like he's just drop it early on in these fights just to get as much damage as he can on so many members, right? Use it as an AoE spell rather than like a pseudo execute KS, right? Don't use it at the end of the fight.
Well, Sir Zipri does have his Rabadon's death cap. You saw what he did to Pluto. He took him quite low. This poke is only hurting more and more. Shibby, the Eutectics need to find a way to get to an objective first, set their feet, and start using their poke because they're not leveraging the Ziggs well enough.
Yeah. Like a imbalanced sumo fight, right? GVU 200-300 pounds over the other guy. Eutectics just not able to kind of set their feet. They're getting bullied around, slapped through, right? They're getting pushed out of the ring.
Yeah, it's a tough time. They're going right on the underarms and lifting them up and gently placing them outside of the ring. Listen, I've watched a fair amount of Midnight Sumo in my day. That's great show, by the way. You should after we're done here, you should go watch Midnight Sumo. But,
Yeah, it'll be midnight by the time this series is over.
Oh,
at least
yeah,
on the
I'll
East
certainly
Coast.
have to go to sleep because I got work in the morning. But you know who's not sleeping? Anybody watching this game, because it's real exciting. 27.5 minutes, 2 minutes till the next dragon. The Eutectics' next shot to grasp and claw their way back in this game, should be.
I mean, they have the tools to do it, right? Zig's very hard to siege against if you don't have Baron. It's also really hard to take Baron against the Ziggs because of the MR shred and the fish in the barrel situation you get into. So kind of a, not really a double-edged sword, but just a really, really tough catch-22 if you're on GVU's side here. And, uh-oh, Tempered Fate.
Well, it's gone, but Sir Zipri gets caught by the chains. They don't have anything to follow up on him yet, though. So he manages to walk out. They will end up burning the Grasping Roots. But it's okay. Breathe a sigh of relief if you're a Eutectic fan.
Oh, the one time Nightstar lands the Chain of Corruptions onto Sir Zipri, there's just not enough follow-up. Good ultimate coming out from the Maokai there, the Grasping Roots like you mentioned. Stuffs off the engagement.
Right.
Pluto!
This is huge. Culling going down. Pluto's got to try to get away. He speeds up in a huge pick a minute before the dragon.
Was the control ward worth it? Supports will say yes every single time.
If they can get ShamWow, Shibby, if they can get
TP?
ShamWow, yeah, TPs are getting burned here. They need to stop him, interrupt him, knock him up. They found ShamWow. He's got a slice, he's got a dice, but it's no dice because he's dead.
Oh, word. 2 big picks. 50-second death timers, Yanni. We're 30 minutes nearly into the game here. Mid lane is getting pushed here, but 30 seconds until this dragon, and ShamWow is going to be down for at least 10 seconds of
He
it.
used his teleport, Shibby. He doesn't
Yep,
have
and
it.
he used his teleport.
Here we go. We might try to make a play on the castle here. He's getting tagged a little bit. Sir Zipri trying to do what he can. Land this poke, gain control of this mid lane now as the Eutectics are on the charge.
This is a free Ocean Dragon, or somewhat free, for the Eutectics here. Castle is still alive, but they just got to drag it out. Keep vision control. Eutectics, it's going to be very difficult for you to mess this up. You're going to have a man advantage as that dragon spawns here. Rip it like a Beyblade, please.
Well, Evrod is ripping it. Sir Zipri is not. Grasping Roots coming out. They want to just do what they can to keep everybody
Oh my.
away. Sir Zipri going to do a chunk of damage to Nightstar, and it's gone. Ocean Soul for the Eutectics.
Now, it's not game ending necessarily, right? It's not a Hex Tech. It's not an Infernal by any means, but that extra bit of healing, extra bit of mana regen, everything plays a big part, especially into a composition like GVU, where they have a lot of burst, a lot of upfront burst. If they return some of that damage back into the form of healing, you just look,
Yeah.
Aatrox becomes absolutely a menace!
Yeah, he hasn't actually done that much to hit Jin Call there, and Johnny Rockets is fine.
Yeah, he hit like 2 autos, maybe 1 ability, and then Ocean Soul plus Aatrox healing, and you know, you just take that Chug Jug and you're back full HP pretty much. GVU, tough road to climb. They've got a little bit of healing reduction, right? They've got it on top of Pluto here, but other than that, ShamWow not really going to be able to apply that Executioner's Calling super liberally, right?
Here we go. Nightstar's going to be the target. He does get rooted, does Jaime. Can't find the second part of that Cyclone. Now with Jaime low, could see a potential opportunity. Castle wants to go in on Sir Zipri, but can't. It's time that the healing will start to kick in.
Yeah, they're back to full HP, although Jaime slowly but surely healing
Oh, they're just
up
going to
and-
start it. They're just
Yeah,
going to the
ultimates
Baron.
are down. No perfect execution, no chain of corruptions. Vision is not in the favor of GVU here. Do they have enough damage? Can they burst this down before GVU find out? They definitely know.
The calling
They're just
gets
shiatsuing.
invested. There it is. It's gone.
Oh my God.
The question is, how do you get out? Castle has to deal with Johnny Rockets, and they find ShamWow. Evrod really wanted a piece of Castle there, but they will back off. The Eutectics taking 2 objectives way back in this game. In the driver's seat, I'd argue.
Yeah, and really good from Eutectics understanding, hey, we just got to burn this as quick as possible. Evrod investing the Blickies into the Baron here, and Very, very good job.
It's a good investment. Listen, sometimes it just pays off. Don't leave home without it. Johnny Rocket's going to start the split push here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you see a little bit of action going on. A lot of pings coming out. Castle's going to be the target. Zeepre's going to try to do as much damage as he can. Castle had to pop his ultimate. You know Zeepre's not going to do a ton of damage. James is getting tagged up. He's trying to do so much on the way back. Zeepre dropping his ultimate down. Castle is low, but look who's on a flank. Junkall lying in wait, maybe trying to make a play happen.
Junkall.
Tempered Fate only lands on Darius, but he's all right with it. Remember that you still have Ziggs to be able to blow up these turrets in the blink of an eye. Junkall is still lying in wait, trying to use Fog of War. ShamWow so low. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, it's just Johnny Rocket's able to do his thing, and now they've spotted him out. So the question is it time to go? And Evrot going to drop the culling on him, take him down to half HP. Junkall trying to use the Shroud, keeping himself upright, but Sir Zeepre's not safe anymore. But Johnny Rockets comes in to save the day and forces off Xin Zhao. Castle will fall. Evrot claims the kill.
4v5 GVU looking to hold on to their base as much as possible here, but look at bottom lane. It was getting pushed, and now top side.
Johnny Rockets went a little too far, but bought some valuable time for his team. This bottom inhibitor will fall. Are they going to try to end the game, Shibby? Nightstar is backing.
So much
Pluto
damage.
is here. The first turret is falling. The second turret is saved by the Tempered Fate, just buying a little bit of time. Evrot onto Pluto. Evrot's going to try to dance away because guess who's there? It's Junkall. Meanwhile, Rias is face tanking and he goes down. Big knock up on the Cyclone, and down goes Junkall. James looking for two. Mega Inferno Bomb lands, but Nightstar's got to be the hero. Nightstar knocked away. James forced the flash. Sir Zeepre trying to chip him down. They want to heal up. They want to end this game, but the Eutectics will back off.
Tried to go for the end. A good Tempered Fate from Pluto saves the base, saves the game for GVU here, and a scrappy fight. Gold, less than 1,000 separating these two teams. Eutectics, you said they're so close they can taste it. They got a Costco sample of that victory, Yanni. It was right on the tip of their tongues.
They were looking like, Patrick in that one episode where it's like, it's so close, we can almost taste it. And he just starts licking the SpongeBob popsicle. And, yeah, that's how close they are. So close to realizing their destiny, but it is not over yet. Grandview, I don't know what they're going to do. Perhaps flip an Elder, but they can still do it.
Elder is coming up in about 45 seconds. Junkall been playing out of his mind on this Akali, but look at what Castle's doing. He's stuck between four.
Oh, Castle, that's not how you're going to get your team back in the game. Although Nightstar's doing his thing. Look at all the damage he's pumping out. Johnny Rockets is low. Big Cyclone from James. Down goes Bard. Nightstar and Castle to lick their wounds.
Junkall, 25% HP, has to back here. Top lane gonna get sieged upon. It's gonna go down very, very soon. Inhibitor turret down here. Nightstar is trying to pump out as much damage as he can. He's a full build Varus. He's as strong as he's gonna get. Can he carry his team to a game 5? That's the question.
Nightstar's gonna have to dig deep and then dig deeper than he's ever dug before. Castle waiting, tagged. Wind Becomes Lightning doesn't land. Bursted out. Evrot just really wants to get a kill. He's got 4 items. He's so strong. This Elder is up. The Eutectics, they're not sure if they want to keep going for this. Chains of Corruption, it does land. James is able to find a way out. Nightstar goes down. ShamWow will be the next to fall. Pluto going to be the sights in their eyes as Junkall has to hop away. The final inhibitor will fall. Shibby, the Eutectics on the doorstep of destiny. The season started in September. The season ends in December. And the only thing cold are the bodies of GVU. The Eutectics have claimed their throne. They are your NECC Division 1 League of Legends champions.
The underdogs. The guys that we call don't count them out. Don't underestimate the Eutectics. They come in, they sneak an end-of-year Division 1 win, Yanni. 3-1 over GVU. That's got to be big for a program like them.
Dude, that is so huge. This team, listen, we've seen this team a lot. This is a team that we know has really good pieces. We talked about it going into game one, right? You've got Evra, you've got Sir Zipri. James had himself a series. My friend, he played so well. Rios, very solid. And then at times, of course, up in the top lane. Listen, it was not a terrible showing up top. Got to give some props there. Wow. The Eutectics are your champions in a division that you thought was going to be run by Northwood and that Grandview would be second. Who would have thought the Eutectics end up on top?
Eutectics coming out end of year win, potentially setting up CLOL nicely for them, puts them on the map. GVU, a big win, historic program, right? Who have won MEC multiple times, have made nationals multiple times, top 16, right? I mean, just a really good organization, and GVU played pretty damn good, right? This is not a slumping GVU. This is not a sleeping GVU. 4 out of their 5 players, Castle, Jinkle, Nightstar, Pluto, have been a part of this MEC roster for the better half of 2 years, have gone to nationals together, right? So you beat a legitimate team, a legitimate win, regardless of the journey and how you got here, who FF'd and everything like that. Eutectics have earned this win. They've earned that 3-1 and rightfully crowned the Division 1 NECC champions. What a nice thing to have that in, right? What a nice little present at the end.
Absolutely. Great way to end 2024. I think, Shibby, that this means that the Eutectics, they could be players in 2025 in CLOL if they so choose, right? You know, with a nationals qualification here, like this is big for them. And, GVU is a program that did finish top 16 last year, right? In what we consider to be a very stacked CLOL. Like, this is a team that can get there, that can at least, get there, right? Can potentially win a game and get to top 16, especially if GVU were the ones who could do it. So big ups to them. I'm excited to see what they can potentially do in 2025. Shibby, I got to ask, MVP for the series, go.
It's Zipri, right?
Has
I
to
know
be.
you're big on James.
Has
I
to
know
be.
you're big on James, but Zipri,
Without
man,
a doubt.
on the
Without
MF?
a doubt. Listen,
Corky?
James,
Even the Caitlyn?
James played a damn good series, but it was Sir Zipri, the guy who got the job done. I got to give him credit for that too. It's unanimous here on the desk. Want to shout out a couple of things. Big reminder. Teams, if you're interested in being a part of the NECC C-Law or C-Val season, please reach out to Captain Awesome. Be a part of C-Law. Be a part of C-Val. People care. These are really awesome tournaments to be a part of, and it just makes life great, man. That sort of stuff is really good. I always get excited about C-Law, and I even watch a little bit of C-Val from time to time, even though I'm not the biggest Valorant guy. I want to give a big shout out to Wenzel's Farms and G Fuel for sponsoring this NECC season. And while League of Legends may be done, we are not done with the NECC seasons as a whole, although they are wrapping up. We got Rainbow Six on Wednesday. We've got Rocket League on Thursday and Overwatch 2 on Friday. So please be sure to tune in 8 p.m. Eastern time. Should be some really awesome games that we have on tap. But that will do it for us here this evening. For myself, for my co-caster Shibby, for Chippy and Rare Adam behind the glass, we want to thank you all so much for being here throughout the entire League of Legends season. I want to also give shout outs to Orbital and RMC who were swapping in tandem with us. And we hope to see you tomorrow for some Rainbow Six action. Good night, everybody.